Again.
Yep.
Let me put in some ambient music. Just gonna use my generic stuff because why the fudge not?
And then, did you want to do the recording?
No.
No? There? Whatever.
I'm already hitting it.
Whatever goats your float.
Mm-hmm.
Those poor goats.
We live in a society.
So the majority of you, having worked together before, have been put on this mission to set out to the city of Diobel. You were traveling there via an overland route from the city of Absalon to meet a contact in a pub known as the Tales. Before we get into too much narrative, as you're all traveling together, for the majority of you, this isn't your first rodeo together. The first one was kind of a feeling each other out in terms of like allegiances and stuff, because you all know that you're all part of different factions. It's not like a secret that who works for what. So you are joined by a new fellow, an elf by the name of Zudor. As Umbra had some training that he had to go under. So as you're traveling, if you'd like to describe your character and the general demeanor of your traveling, and generally what your opinion is of the other people or what it shows outwardly.
Yeah. So as Richard said, he is an elf, full-blooded, 5'7". One of the few elves that you've seen that actually has facial hair, which I discovered on the wiki. Elves do not grow facial hair, so wonder how that happens.
It's a clip-on.
Yeah. Listen, Talador's got some very strange traditions. He wears a longer coat. Though he is a wizard, he seems more comfortable doing field work. He definitely gives off the demeanor of someone that gets distracted by a lot. You've definitely seen him counting things that are seemingly pointless. And more than once, it's like he's gone to do something, and then he stopped for a second, and then he just kind of takes a step back and shakes his head. He's like, nope, not right, not this time. Unless you're actively talking to him, he does kind of tend to zone out into his own mental world and forget that other people are there.
And what is Zudor's kind of at least outward opinion of Hazen, Miro, and Alex? They're all part of different factions. There's Miro, who's Cheliax, Hazen, who is Osirian, and Alex, I believe, is Andoran.
They are all also human.
Yes.
And they seem to also be a little bit more familiar with each other versus you. You seem to be the outlier currently, because having worked together before, they do have some of the camaraderie. I don't picture them. They've worked together all the time. This just happens in another mission that, like, hey, you were successful last time. We're going to utilize you as a workforce again.
They see each other down at the pub.
Yeah.
I would say his demeanor with interacting with them is, how do I put this correctly? It's like not overly familiar, but it's one of those things where you meet someone where you don't know them and they just launch right into just talking about something, like as if you're completely in on it and like you've had this discussion before. If that makes sense?
I gotcha.
Absolutely.
Who would like to go next? No one speaks up, so going down the line,
So
Hazen, go ahead and describe yourself.
Who'd you say?
You. No one was speaking up, so I just volunteered for the next person down the list of people.
Yeah. All right. Did we not do this the first time? I guess we're doing it.
Some of you have it, but it's also Gombo didn't play with us before.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a good way to get reintroduced to the characters because we don't play this as often. So
Yeah.
Wasn't that like 3-4 months ago?
Yeah. Pretty athletic looking guy. acts like he's pretty smart. From Osirian, dresses in very traditional garb. Headdress, usually bare-chested with his gilded arm bracelets and traditional weapons. What else? That's about it. Friendly, nice guy, good looking.
Any particular way he reacts to the rest of the party, or does he seem to be pretty friendly to everybody?
No, he's amicable to everyone. He's plays the role of the diplomat or the charmer. He's going to be friendly to everyone, and until it is more beneficial not to be.
Gotcha. What about Miro?
Yeah, so Miro obviously appears human, other than the obvious discoloration. So you can tell there's something going on there. He doesn't spend a whole lot of time talking to anyone else, and other than that, the most notable thing visually is probably the huge honking sword on his back.
And are we talking like anime level protagonist kind of sword?
Yeah,
It's a bastard sword. So.
Yeah, he's an anime protag. He looks like a skinny
No,
guy
I
with
already
a big
made that
sword.
one for Way of the Wicked. Come on.
This is true.
Yep.
Where you can
You try to hit me, I hit all of your friends at
get
once.
out of petrification through the power of badass.
And what about Miro's temperament towards the direct party members? I know you say your character doesn't say much, but does he seem like aggressive towards the rest of them, or?
Yeah, he's not outwardly aggressive, but he's not mentioning the scroll of devil binding in it. He still has in his inventory, because I know there was some argument about that last session.
Got it.
But that was probably the greatest source of conflict, I guess. But he's not openly hostile towards anyone.
Good to know. Moving down the line, describe Alex.
Yeah, Alex, general guy, 6 foot tall. Tends towards more of a lithe build. Got decently padded coat on that's actually got plates of armor underneath it. And long sword and a shield. Overall, he's open and friendly towards the party. Little leery of Miro because of her allegiance. Or his allegiance. Yeah, that token is androgynous.
Yeah.
This is why you grow a beard.
Yeah. Also, I thought the two of you were some sort of genie touched last time, but I guess we're all human except for now an elf.
Hey, full blood.
It's because Miro's a blood rager, so I think he's leaning into the bloodline thing.
Yeah.
But
So, before I get into more narrative and stuff, is there any talks as you're going through to well, I guess I'll start off with discussing what your guys is what you know so far of the mission you're supposed to be on. So one of the things you've been told is there was a recent attack on a nearby city. The pirate ship known as the Hydra's Fang attacked and killed the majority of the people in the town, and then absconded with some relics of the of a wizard that lived in said town after they had dispatched of him.
mm-hmm.
They haven't really told you too much more. They did inform you that your contact would inform you further once you reach the town of Diabel.
Gotcha.
Yeah, anything disgusting wise that you guys would be talking about, or just shooting the shit if you want to do anything before we get into the town proper?
Well, just because I remember this, so I quickly Googled it as you were explaining the mission. So this is something that I'm sure it would come up with Zudor talking to people, because, as I said, elves do not normally have beards. And I realized, I looked it up, at this point in the timeline, because I assume this is before most of our APs, there is a currently batshit insane king of Talador who has passed a law where only the nobility can grow beards. So the fact that he's not in his homeland, he's just taking advantage of that liberty. That is actual lore thing. That is. So
he found a salve that told it that he was informed that could grow a beard, so he's like, "Oh, gotta have it."
Yeah. You know, when at Absalom, be like the Absalonians. So
Hazen looks around. No one else has a beard.
Yeah, it's interesting, man.
Yeah, I just want to bring that up because I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't there a thing about this? Real lore fact: in Talador, can't have a beard unless you're a noble right now.
Mira looks at you for a second, trying to figure out if the ears are fake or if the beard is fake.
I scratch my beard and wiggle my ears, not knowing that you're looking at me.
But if that's really all that kind of goes on between y'all, you do find yourself. Oh, go ahead.
As we're walking, or whatever we're doing, I would comment. It's a shame that feline lady isn't here. Does everyone remember when she scared a box into opening last time?
No, I'd forgotten about that.
I had to until I listened to the playthrough last week. Loki intimidated a box and it opened.
Yeah, one of those.
It was like a trick
we had
kind of thing.
I just nod and go, I did not remember that, but I know I will remember it in the future.
That's usually how things work, yeah.
It's not overly important now. It's not like she's here.
Flash to a picture of a vision of Umbra fighting in a sandbox.
Litter box?
No, sandbox.
Yep.
More like one of the. It would probably realistically be more one of those like training things that they like put sand in, so in case somebody bleeds, it just absorbs.
Yeah. Also, the cat piss.
Yeah. When you piss yourself, they want to make sure that everyone can see your wet mark for days to come.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you all approach the city of Diabo. It stands upon flooded ruins of a former siege town on the western coast of the Isle of Cortos. The inner harbor is fortified by a gigantic maze of derelict war barges and crumbling breakwalls. Haphazard jetties constructed from rubble and iron of ancient fortifications smattered throughout. Only smaller vessels, as you can notice, can fit through the maze, so warships and large merchant galleys must anchor further out in the open waters of Cortos.
Yeah, this place has seen better days.
Or will it?
I thought pirates usually have to go after things that are valuable.
Terrible harbor.
You got more information on what we're doing?
Yes, not anyone in particular.
Yeah, someone mentioned pirates. Mira, I think, yes.
Richard said something about a pirate ship, hadn't he? The Iron Fang.
Yeah, I did mention that there was some to do with some pirates, but that's about as much as you know, like from the official statement.
Yeah, I didn't let anything slip.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it works either way, but we did know something about pirates.
Now, if that was in character, that means your dispatcher is officially named Richard. So I'll have to make that NPC later.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's canon. All dispatchers from now on are named Richard.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm the Nurse Joy of the Pathfinder Society.
Yes. Canon.
Oh Lord. Anyway, You make your way through the town. It's very hard to find your way around. So you're now circumnavigating for the better part of the day before you get to a brine covered in swordfish tails in a rundown section of the town called the South Reach.
You cut out for a second. Could you repeat?
Yeah,
that?
we lost you.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
Let me try that again. So let me try that again. You make your way to a dingy, brine-soaked shack covered with swordfish tails, located in a rundown section of the town called the South Reach. There, you see bitter longshoremen coming off of what you imagine are their long shifts to pile in and slam a round of potent liqueur. You hear cursing and complaining about how they are prepared to get drunk enough to have to be carted home. As you enter, this disparaged scene has few prying eyes, the ideal place for Pathfinders to pass along covert whispers. You enter about middle of the morning, like fast approaching like 11 or 12. As you approach, the revelry within is barely contained by the boarded up windows. Entering, you all stand out like a sore thumb amongst these ruddy-faced dock workers, most of whom have more gin blossoms than teeth.
Think we're a bit overdressed for the place, lads.
As you all enter, you see the crowd immediately begins to heckle the lot of you, accusing you of being upscalers. Some of them giving you a thumbs up, which you at first think of, is that a good thing? But before they start calling you gold thumbers. And they're like, hey, you got some money. How about you spend some of your coin to buy the bar around? Followed by some cackles and laughter.
Working stiffs. What would a round cost?
Buying the cheap shit, I'll say a round for the entire bar, run you like a gold.
Yeah, sure.
They're
gentlemen.
actually a little... Sorry, go ahead.
That was it. Just acknowledging him.
They're all a little taken aback by the fact that their shouting actually produced some liquor, and they're very immediately endeared towards the lot of you for doing this. But as the rabble-rousing continues, you see a dark cloaked figure rise from the back of the bar. A bunch of eyes flash back to the cloaked figure before everyone seems to return to their own conversations. The man himself draws back his cloak as he motions you towards him. And you see a man in his late 40s of obviously Chilaxian features with a faint beard. And he's like, I believe you all are looking for me. My name is, well, you can call me Osprey. Please, come sit and I can discuss why you've been dragged to the city of Diabel.
Okay.
All right, taking a seat.
Mm-hmm.
So what has the Osprey seen?
Go sit down in one seat. I stop halfway, switch to another chair, shake my head.
You're not going to find a better chair. They're all the same.
No, I know. That one just didn't work out in the end.
It's fine with me.
Yeah, as you all get comfortable, he kind of gives you a sidelong eye to fucking Zudor. He looks all over the lot. He's like, we have word that the accursed Chilaxian pirate known as Darciel Duhmore has anchored his much-sought ship, the Hydra's Fang, in the harbor. Everyone's been looking for that bastard. He carries with him some sort of ancient tablets of extreme historical value to our organization. Unknown to most, though I believe you've been informed, the town of Whittlestone, a small Endoran town, Duhmore has razed it to the ground, but it was also home to a man named Myraxis Tree Shadows, an aging sage and mystic supposedly of ancient Aslanti descent. Among his possessions, he kept ancient forgeries of several tablets used in ancient rites during the old Aslan's height. When Darciel destroyed the village, he slew the wizard and took the tablets. I imagine he hoped to pawn them off on one of his buyers here in Diabel. The tablets themselves are priceless archaeological treasures, one greatly desired by the Pathfinder Society. In fact, just prior to the Aslante's death, we faced several bids to purchase the tablets, so naturally we were the first to realize they'd gone missing.
Yeah, you can't sell what you don't have. At least
Indeed.
not for long. So that's why they sent us out here, to recover these rocks.
Indeed, it's a race to get to Demore first and recover these stolen tablets before any of his other pursuers find him, or he flees the port.
Any idea where he is? Other than at anchor in this port?
If our sources are correct, we've learned that he owes a substantial amount of money to one of the consortium's more ambitious enforcers. An importer named Lubor Steiskal. Likely he needs to settle with him at some point, so if you go to his shop over on Meldon Lane, near the docks, and see if you can pick up his trail from there, you can do whatever you can to get these tablets. I can answer some questions if you have anything you wish to know, but if not, time is of the essence.
Obviously a general description of the tablets, but
yeah, he would inform you what they look like and such, at least what his knowledge is of them.
And general description of the pirate if we wouldn't already know somewhat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would describe him as a young Shalaxian individual. Even as a pirate, he seems to carry himself in a holier than thou kind of.
I'm sorry, did he say his name?
Yeah, his name was Darciel Dumore.
Got it.
He was a third son of some wealthy Chalaxian count, as is Chalaxian infamy. He kind of spent a lot of his family's fortune on debauchery and hedonism. I think his father at one point sent him out with a privateer's writ to mostly just get him out of his life, but he turned to the pirate life like a dehydrated man takes to water.
Yeah, well, I guess the name of his ship would be another good question.
It is known as the Hydra's Fang.
Oh, yeah.
It is currently docked on the outskirts of the city, but we do not know if he was there, if he unloaded the tablets, or in order to get to his ship, we would have to requisition some boats, which will require a harbor's master's writ, and we are trying to keep this, keep the society's involvement a little on the down low.
Mm-hmm.
What of the ship's crew?
From what we understand, Dumar has a habit of replacing his crew seemingly at random on his whims. Seems to be every time he replaces them with meaner and dirtier folk. So the crew themselves, we know they're right bastards, but not much else.
Meaner and dirtier. I think that well would bottom out at some point.
Always a lot of muck at the bottom of that well, but I guess we should get on the trail. Finish off the beer I bought.
I turned to the guy who's giving us information. We shall get on this, but fear not. Time may be of the essence, but time is on our side. And I just stand up and head off.
He just gives you a nod to all of you, like, may the gods speed you in this task. As you all turn to leave, you hear a clattering, and you look to turn the first chair that fucking Zudor had sat on. You see a barmaid walk by it, and the leg itself seemingly crooked, wound up causing her to trip, sending the chair itself spiraling outward onto the ground, and you see the leg itself crack under the weight of it.
As I'm going out the door without turning around, you hear me call out, "It didn't work out!"
Mm-hmm.
It's a paranoid one.
Yes, we'll have to see if that works out for him a few more times.
So, are you following up on the lead to check out the Lubor's imports?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's where I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
unless we wish to divide and conquer, with some of us checking out the imports and some of us trying to get the Harvey Masters writ.
I think it's probably best for us to stick together. Out of character, these games don't have a lot of encounters, so if someone misses one, you're missing a lot of the game.
Fair enough.
I'm pretty sure one of the Pathfinder Society's rules are usually stick together in unknown territory anyway.
I'd say that last one was like nothing but encounters start to finish. So
a lot of them are like that.
yeah.
Granted, the first one I was trying to just gauge how long an AP would take, so I kind of rushed you through things to see how fast it goes in terms of like. So there wasn't really a lot of back and forth like RP or narrative stuff.
Mm.
I'm trying to do a little bit better with this one now that I kind of got the feel for it.
Yeah, that's very understandable.
I mean, even rushing through, we almost went to time. I think, well, that was 3 hours.
We were like had a half hour to spare, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so sticking together.
So on your contact advice, you all make your way to the shop of one of Dumor's supposed connections. As you approach, you see a sign over the door that reads Lubor's Imports. The door itself seems to be hanging slightly ajar.
No, that's always a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
Swing the door open.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah, as you swing the door open, inside all is dark and eerily quiet. You have dark vision as Miro, or no?
I do not.
Okay, so you can kind of faintly make out some details as you peer inside. You see what can only imagine is a recent brawl. You see furniture lies smashed and strewn about, and near the closed door in the back of the shop, you see 2 bodies slumped upon the floor. You have to strain your vision a little bit to see in the darkness of the room.
I'll just go ahead and take out a torch from my Blood Ragers kit and light it up to see what's to investigate.
And I have, as an elf, I have low light vision too.
Yeah, yes, I'd have bought a lantern. But I'm going to put my shield on. Yeah, it looks like he settled up some depths all right.
So let me actually bring you to a map real quick.
It seems that we're early. Nope, sorry, late.
But yeah, getting a closer look, the 2 bodies are slumped on the floor, and you see blood pooling beneath them. You do see a doorway over in this direction here. I'll like to do a little better reveal area of it.
Do you want to roll initiative for this, or?
Yeah, we can do initiative now and make it easier.
Okay.
Yeah, I find that even if we're not in combat, if we're on a battle map, rolling initiative is good to make sure that we're not all just like sprinting.
Yeah. Also, the society games don't include fucking maps most of the time, so I had to make these myself. So
yeah. Also, on my initiative there, it says the +1, +4. That's already included in my initiative. It should be. Yeah, it is. So.
Man, I rolled a 20. You rolled an 18 and still got higher than me.
I
built you got
some
improved initiative, it looks like.
Yes, it's because I have divination school, which not only increased my initiative, but it says that I always act in a surprise round, but I'm flat-footed until my turn. But I always act even if I wouldn't be aware of the surprise attack. So, it's the way I see it. If my initiative is high enough, then that means I effectively am never flat-footed in the surprise round.
Yep.
Cope, you want to roll your initiative, by the way? Or not, I guess.
He's muted.
He's in. Maybe he's taking a shit.
Yep.
He might be taking a shit.
He's listening to us right now.
It's the only way he can get off.
Well, I mean, we already found out about his voyeuristic tendencies with the photo he sent us earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really voyeurism when they're being exhibitionist?
I guess it depends on how long you stare.
Depends on who calls the police first.
I think we might have lost a cope.
Mhm.
Well, I'm going to roll his initiative on his character, and God help him.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
he's-
appropriate anyway. But yeah,
I wonder
Zudora's up
if
first.
if he's coping or if he's Michaeling. They're two distinct actions.
Is it though?
There's some nuance to it. You wouldn't understand.
No, you see, Michaeling is falling asleep at the computer. Coping is pissing into the mic.
Where the mic can hear you. Anyway.
All right. So it looks like Zudor, you're going first there.
Yes.
So Miro will look back, everyone says, and he'll say, looks like someone already sacked the place.
Well then, best to be prepared, and I am going to cast Mage Armor on myself. Hence the other reason why I want to have a very high initiative.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, that's why he's weird.
it's just like a transparent barrier of force energy kind of apparates around my body, so it's kind of like a almost skin type bubble suit.
You're inside my personal bubble.
Yeah.
Cool beans. Are you gonna go and stay put?
I will move here and reach into my coat and pull out a light crossbow. Probably best if someone else goes in first.
Miro will look back at Alex. You said Alex had taken a lantern out?
Mm-hmm. And put on his shield prior to.
Yeah. Miro will ask Alex to light the way, and he'll say, I can use the sword one-handed, but it's best to have them both free if we run into anything.
Yeah.
Because the bastard sword is one of those weapons where if you have proficiency in it,
Mhm.
you can wield it in one hand. And I will walk 10 feet in. I'll roll over this body. What does this look like? Does this look like just someone who is in here? Does this look like someone? Does it look like the owner?
Looking over the body, it looks like it was like a guard's body. Also, I like the proportions I made. It looks like it's a 10-foot tall body, but that's just the nature of making these maps sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's what it is.
I mean, it's the same in Call of Cthulhu game. It's not a 2-meter long body. It's just
yeah.
But yeah, it looks relatively fresh. Probably within, even having to roll. Definitely hasn't had time to congeal the blood, so this is relatively recent.
he'll convey that information, and I will go ahead and I'll pat him down really quick. Is there any identifying information in his pockets or anything?
Patting over the body, doesn't look like there's much on them. It looks like they actually, after they had fallen here, they looks like somebody had picked their pockets clean.
All right, then I'll continue. That was 10 feet, so I still got 30 feet left of movement as a barbarian, or as a blood rager. I will come down here, glancing at this body. Is it much second verse, same as the first?
Yeah, it looks like they've also been picked clean. This one looks like it had been slammed against the bookshelf to the back and then been impaled as it moved back forward.
All right, and then I'm going to put my ear up to this door. Do I hear anything?
Roll perception.
Perception.
Yeah. You put your ear to the door, and It does sound like there's some people in there, but they seem to be like trying to keep themselves down. You hear some hushed whispers and some movement of what you can imagine boxes or furniture.
Looking back at the doorway, Miro will do the thing where he just puts a finger in front of his mouth to signal to be quiet as everyone comes in. And that will be my turn.
Got it.
Hey,
Alex.
can y'all hear me?
Yeah, there you are.
Okay.
You rolled a 15 on the initiative.
So I'm moving there, looking over. Here, the glass is smashed inward.
No, I just use that to show like the glass is actually cracked in the windows. It's not actually on the floor on
gotcha.
those. I didn't have a good way to show a cracked window.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
This right here looks like it was like a display case. There's some wood mixed in with the glass, but that's why it looks like the way it is. Like a little office desk area here, as well as a like table here. Pillar looked like it was smashed in. There's bookshelf over here with scattered books.
Clipping the lantern to my belt, and then for the second move, pulling my sword out, get up here.
Gotcha.
I'll try and well, I mean, stealth means you move at half speed, but kind of want to roll it just to see how much noise I make doing all that.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a stealth to see how noisy you are. kind of noisy. So go into Hazen.
Yeah, not like comedically loud, but like someone
No.
could hear you trying to be quiet.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do with armor, for instance.
Yeah.
Clank, 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 clank.
Yeah, if you're still with us, Cope, it is your turn as Hazen.
Yep. And he will slide on in.
Did you hear any of the stuff before you got to the scene?
I did not. I heard. No, the last I heard was Michael slip on the pirate.
Oh wow, you've been gone for a while then, haven't you?
Yeah, what happened?
I haven't had internet.
Oh,
Gotcha.
okay.
So to kind of shorten everything that happened, you met with your contact. He discussed that you're after a pirate by the name of Dumore.
Okay.
You were told that he had a contact here in Lubor's Imports that he owed money to, and you're trying to retrieve some stone tablets from him that he had stolen from a sage in a town he had raised. And you came here. Moving in, Miro heard some movement on the other side. You see a couple of dead bodies that have been picked clean. And that's essentially what we got to now. So that kind of catches you up to speed. If I missed anything in my quick summary, the rest of them can inform you. But
Double checking that this one is truly picked clean.
yes, they are all very picked clean. Their weapons have been stripped of them. You can tell that they seem to have been guards of some kind. They have some mild, like leather armors, but they've been pretty damaged in the scuffle that they might have had. But I believe that was a double movement on your part, so we'll go back to Zudor.
Okay. First thing, as a free action at the start of my turn, I am going to use one of my uses of prescience, however you pronounce that. I got 7 of these. Essentially, I roll a 1d20 and then I record the result. 11. So, anytime before the start of my next turn, when I roll a 1d20, I can substitute that result with it.
When you or somebody else?
Only me.
And it's before the start of your next turn?
Before the start of my next turn. So I can use it this turn or saving throws or attack of opportunities off turn as well.
Gotcha.
Here,
What
I'll
kind of action is it to roll one of those?
free. I'll just put that right there.
Casting time standard action?
No, it says at the beginning of your turn as a free action right there.
Gotcha. I just saw the cast.
Yeah, they auto entered it in for me when I use the character.
It's all good.
Yeah. So I will.
That's good to know. So
be right there, and then
Crunch.
Yeah,
Oh,
crunch,
the thing
crunch.
is when you activate this power, you can touch any creature as a standard action.
Yeah, I'm just doing it for myself.
Okay, that's why I think it said a standard action on the top. Is what I'm saying.
Gotcha. I'm gonna just double move, going over the glass there, but I'm going to be right there with my light crossbow because there's a door.
Mm-hmm. Mira.
All right, gonna do the thing, twist the handle to see if the door is locked.
Lightly touch it to make sure it's
As
not
you
hot
check,
first.
the door is locked.
All right, it is. And anyone able to do it? Do I remember if anyone's able to unlock doors?
I believe you know that Hazen can. If I'm wrong, you can let me know for code.
Yeah,
So,
he was pretty upfront about being good at opening the chests until we found out they were all kind of weird chests.
All right, then, Hazen, get in here and open this door.
Yeah, I can do it the clean way.
And then, I guess, can I hold my turn until after Hazen?
yeah, I'm not gonna hold us to how we're doing it with the Rune Lords, where we can't hold turns in that one. But I'm doing this purely by the books of Pathfinder, so that's
Quick
Just let me know when you
perception,
wanna-
make sure it doesn't look booby trapped.
well, it's not your turn yet.
Yeah,
so.
it's not your turn.
Oh,
dude.
Well, even
thought
just
you
in
said
this
we were
specific
going up.
situation, it's like, okay, I
Yeah.
just have to wait to unlock the
Are
door.
you holding your turn?
I'll try and prep to, like, if anything tries to attack him when the door opens, to maybe try and block it.
Gotcha.
I don't know, I was thinking a reflex to have it go against my AC instead of him.
Yep. So perception, make sure it doesn't look booby trapped.
Yeah, looking it over, it doesn't look trapped of any kind. It just looks locked.
And then what am I looking for? Disabled device.
Yes. Yeah, you fiddle with the log. You kind of lean over Miro and you just put in the you fiddle with the tumblers for a quick second, and they just pop right open, and the door is unlocked.
After you, gentlemen.
So, would Miro like to take his turn now?
Yes. Yeah, I'll go ahead and open the door. I'll open it in the way where you kind of open at a crack using the door as kind of a shield in front of you before opening it all the way.
Yep. So, as you open the door, go ahead and give me a perception as you open it.
Perception.
Okay. So, as you open the door, you're witness to a sight of a room that has been tossed and like shuffled through. You see on the south side of the room a body with a little girl crouched next to it. She's like shaking the body, like you see her like sobbing, like "Daddy, Daddy."
Oh,
But other than that, you don't see anything in the room. Though I will say, as you don't see anything in the room, immediately as soon as you open the door, these two people do take ready actions at you.
all right.
Second, let me reveal them as they were hiding behind a table, and their stealth roll happened to be a 16. They rolled a 10 plus 6. They will shoot a longbow at you. 2 attacks. 13 will be a flat-footed.
Flat-footed. They'll probably hit, but I'll check.
Yeah, both of these attacks will be flat-footed because they had passed.
Hits.
Okay, so you take 2 damage.
So could I try to intercept the
Yeah.
the reflex?
Yeah, you can go ahead and I will say that's good enough to aid to give him a +2 as you like put up your shield in the way of Miro. So if that blocks with your AC 2 higher, Miro, would that go?
Yeah, that would block it.
Okay, so you managed to put your shield interposed, and it like you hear the arrow ping against the shield. The other one will fire as well. 15 gets flat-footed +2 with the aid of Alex.
Unfortunately, that is 14, so that will hit.
Okay, so this one, corrects itself just briefly to aim lower, and it manages to graze your leg as the arrow flings forward. But I believe, Zudor, did you have an attack ready?
No, I had to double move to get here.
Gotcha.
I would love to have an attack ready, but I didn't have the action economy.
But it is still Miro's turn, as all you did is open the door. So the world is now your oyster. You just can't wait to shuck it.
Looking at these guys, do they look like pirates or do they look like the guys who just got attacked in here?
You could imagine they look kind of piratey. They basically look like just thugs. So the chances of them being a pirate, it's not like they have like uniforms or anything. The chance of a thug being a pirate in a port city is about 50-50.
I'm gonna just shout in. Who are you lot?
We ain't talking to you, scum, as they get ready to launch another arrow.
Awesome. So I'm gonna charge.
Miro, we tried diplomacy.
Right here.
An attempt was made.
I'm going to power attack. Bam. And I'm going... that'll be it. I'm not going to use my Hell Strike yet.
Gotcha.
So...
that will miss, unfortunately.
yeah, what the hell?
I mean, I rolled a 4. What can you do?
Mm-hmm.
So before it's Zudor's turn, Miro, I need you to roll me a will save.
Right. There you go, baby.
Yeah, you see your vision begin to like cloud with like almost like you've had your vision knocked out of you, like you're seeing stars for a minute. But you like squint really hard and manage to clear your vision. As the rest of you see the little girl that was crouching over by the dead body disperse into a grown woman holding out her hand. As she sees that you've resisted her spell, she's like, "Shit."
Well, darn, you almost had me.
Aha! I didn't see that coming, just as I expected.
And then she is going to move over here to climb on the table.
Aizen slowly looks back at Zudor, thinking, "Did he just say that?"
Pulling his sword out of what is probably the split wooden planks of this fucking room. Yeah, he'll go. I'll get to you in a minute.
Yeah, she doesn't look exactly thrilled to be in this situation, but it is now Zudor's turn, so let's see how thrilled he is to be in part of this situation.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I am going to see. I mean, we're all charging into the room, so
Seems that way.
yeah.
Though you do have a clear line of sight.
I mean, all.
I'm gonna get at least a little bit closer. Hold on, I might not be done moving. I'm measuring. So that's 35. What's the range on this?
There should be plenty of range if you're using the crossbow.
I'm not using a crossbow. It's a spell, so I'm measuring it out. 25 plus 5 feet, so I need to be
30 feet away.
Yeah. So luckily I got the movement there for it.
Yep.
All right. So I am going to use the cantrip Daze on that one in front of Miro. So DC 14 will save. If he fails, I assume he's got. Yep. Okay. Well, it was worth a shot.
I rolled a 19, so.
Yeah. Would have been good fun if he had failed, because then he just would have done nothing.
Oh yeah, that's what she tried to do on Miro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have the spell, you probably would identify exactly what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
It is the thug's turn.
Listen, guys, I've only got 3 spell slots a day. I can't be firing
at this
off
level,
magic
cantrips are completely a useful thing.
Yeah.
So the one is going to try to shoot an arrow at Zudor. The one that's not adjacent to Miro.
Of course.
I imagine a 9 does not confirm.
It does not confirm, thankfully.
Because that
Otherwise,
would have been a fuck.
I just would have been dead. No.
would've been
Oh
dead,
god,
you
that
would've
would have been
unconscious.
amazing. First scene.
saw this coming.
But no,
But it does hit you for 4 damage.
Yes.
Like, as you see it coming to you, I imagine you have that, like, oh, this could have gone so much worse. As it just, like,
Mhm.
shoots in and, like, it goes out of your clothes from the back of you.
Mhm.
And you just look at where it was, and you're, like, a half an inch to the left. It could have gone right in the kidney.
Oh, yeah.
But
I mean,
the
to
other
be
one
fair,
does.
I don't think 16 damage would have instantly killed me because I got
No,
14
but you would have been
hit points.
unconscious for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
The other one is going to drop his longbow and pull out a longsword,
Mhm.
make a single attack against Miro. Which, like, as you're like bringing up your bastard sword from like the cleaving of the floorboards, you bring it up and you manage just to deflect the sword as he's trying to bring it down on you. And it is now Alex's turn.
Mhm. So sheathing the longsword is part of that move, and then quick drawing a throwing axe. Let's see. So that'd be a -2 to hit her with a thrown.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and try to deadly aim this. It goes wide.
Yeah.
Oh, at least it made her duck.
Yeah. She ducks and it just like lodges into the wall behind her. Isn't.
All right. He will pull out his stone bow or fling it off his shoulder, reach around the corner, and take a shot at the guy in front of Miro.
You have precise shot?
No, let's go with the guy behind Miro. That guy.
Gotcha. That will hit.
Come on. How do I do? There.
For what? A point of damage that pings him in the head.
Ha! Take
He's like,
that.
ow!
Who throws a shoe?
Honestly. But it is now Miro's turn.
All right, Miro's getting pretty pissed off. So I am going to enter a blood rage.
Very bloody.
All right. And this should kill this guy if it hits, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that will hit. And that immediately, like, wedge into his side. He doesn't instantly die, but he is unconscious and dying. As you see the one behind him still carrying the bow, just be like, just realize how fucked they are now.
Sure you don't want to tell us who you are?
And then it will be the woman's turn as she just points her hand to Miro and magic missiles you. That'll be 1d4 plus 1. For 3 points of damage. And then she, let's see, difficult terrain, so that's 10 feet. Starts making her way to this door.
No, 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 no.
Oh, no, no, no. Okay, and it will be Zudor's turn.
All right. So, oh, right. Before anything else, I'm going to spend another use of that ability. Don't want to waste these, but this is the time for it. Like that. That's a nice one to have in the quiver. So I should be able to. Yeah, that'll do. And I'm going to fire my crossbow. Very much have range. She's not next to anyone, so I don't take penalties. So let's see what
I
I
imagine
get.
automatically hits by using that 18.
Well, let's see if I get a natural 20 first.
Oh, gotcha. I wasn't sure if it was one of those things you had to use first.
Nope, I can replace any roll after I see the result. So I rolled a 17 for a 20 total, so I'm going to keep the 18 in reserve just in case.
Gotcha. That will hit, and it will do 4 points of damage into her back as she's trying to run, and she just lets out a gah. She's like still trying to make her way toward the door.
Damn, so that didn't work this time. Okay, I'll need to remember that for the past.
Okay, this one is going to pull out his long sword and make his way to here to attack Alex. He's going to try to make his way towards the door too. Single attack, 16 to hit.
Yep, 19 base AC.
Just smack it with your shield and it flings it to the side. And it is now your turn.
Well, ignoring him, I'm charge at the caster.
He's going
So
to
he
get an attack of
probably-
opportunity on you.
So
And miss
18.
terribly.
Mm-hmm. My swift action to challenger. So if it'd be after the thing because I can do that whenever. I think
Is it a save thing for?
it's a swift action that it gives me a slight bonus, but if anyone attacks me or her, then it is broken and I get a slight negative
Gotcha.
for a round. Anyway, drawing the longsword as part of the charge as well. Because, yay, swift. It's a free action. Swift quick draw.
Yep.
And here we go.
That will actually miss.
Yep.
As you see, like her, like you know you struck her, but you see like a shimmering veil strike against her body, and I realized that as soon as you made Zudor, I'm like, wow, he and this chick have the exact same movesets practically.
There can only be one version of me in this timeline.
Come on, don't be leaving the party so soon.
Wow, man. Cold.
Well, we saw your life flash before us.
Hazen.
All right. He is also going to come up here and try and prevent.
That's not quite enough reach.
Yeah, that side movement goes as 35 feet. So what he's going to do instead is from here. Can I shoot and then move?
You can get to 30 feet here.
Can I shoot my bow and then move?
Yeah, you can do that.
All right, he's going to go ahead and shoot at this guy.
Phenomena. That'll miss.
Nah.
Man, I
He
wish I
just
could use
screams to you, stop throwing fucking rocks.
He's going to drop his bow that he's a little bit embarrassed of. Going to move to here, and during his move action, pull his rapier out.
Gotcha. Brings us to Miro.
That's 35.
That's
Going to
Yeah, he's blood rage.
run up there
Alright.
with fast movement, 40-foot movement.
Yep.
And acrobatics to avoid the attack of opportunity.
Oh, I was going to say, don't even bother. He already made one this turn.
Okay, got it. And then I will activate my Hell Strike. So my bastard sword ignites in blue flame. And I will power attack. Which I have Furious Focus, so I don't take penalties from power attack.
So at this level, it's definitely.
Come on!
Man,
If you really wanted to succeed, you do have one hero point for session.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, everyone has one.
Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
So you can't save yourself from death
I
or anything.
wish I
You
could
do
use
one
that
reroll.
18 for allies.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to use it, you can, but just keep in mind that'll be the one for the session.
All right. There we go.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah, so as you bring your flaming bastard sword down, you see her look up and she's like, fuck me. As you just cut her head clean off.
All right, that one was mine.
Well, now there's
All
two
right.
of her. Take your pick. There's the head, and then there's the rest of her.
All
Heads
right.
or tails?
Then I will free action in my Blood Rage, becoming
Okay.
fatigued for 4 rounds. Because it's double the amount of rounds that I used it for.
It is now Zudor's turn.
I'll go ahead and just add a fatigued template here, buff.
I'm gonna just spray the last guy with a ray of frost.
Didn't roll an attack for some reason.
It does not roll an attack for some reason, so that would just be see.
D20 plus Dex, really, and I don't think you have BAB at this level, do you?
I got 1.
Yeah, the ranged. Quick.
So yeah,
action on the
D20
first.
plus Dex plus BAB.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Even with these guys' terrible armor, they do have more than 8 touch.
Yeah.
As you
I'm
just
not-
see
and
the
I
ice
wasn't gonna
beam fling by him.
Wasn't gonna spend another one of my prescience or prescience. I don't know how that word is pronounced.
I believe prescience.
Prescience, yeah.
Free science.
Pre-science. That's where you do the science before the science.
I mean, technically that falls in line with the time thing.
Yeah.
Why? It's not letting me
so-
put temporary penalties into my stat block. It just automatically goes away.
On your conditions, it doesn't let you put fatigued.
Yeah, well, it's not letting me do that. And when I try to manually go in and put temporary modifiers on the temporary slot, it
Well, I mean,
just
the
goes...
fatigue is working.
It could
Oh,
just be you're just having a visual issue. You could refresh the page and it might.
Because the
Okay.
conditions, you don't have to make your own. Fatigued is already on.
Yeah,
the
I just saw that. There's a fatigued one up there, but I was also just trying to, weirdly enough, if you click on my sheet, you'll be able to see. I can type in -2 into the temporary modifiers, and it will apply for just a moment, but then it'll go away.
Oh yeah, that thing. There's
Yeah,
weird stuff
those-
like that.
Yeah, I see. You
There's
can just
some-
click
there's some weird
fatigued on the
things.
sheet,
Yeah.
and it works. So
Oh, good.
it's all good in the neighborhood.
And then we go to the thug, and he is going to just run screaming.
See, you let that one get away.
He was a centimeter too far to the left. Couldn't hit him like last time.
You made fun of my bow.
You see him as he runs by, kick your bow.
He spends 5 feet of his movement to step back to kick it.
I could catch him if we want to start a street chase.
Might help.
Assuming
probably
he has
knows
30-foot
something.
movement and I have 40-foot movement, I would eventually catch up to him.
Keep in mind, you're also trying to not alert people to your
Yeah.
presence here.
Don't slaughter him in the road.
I got an idea. What
Is that the full movement for
Yeah,
Alex?
it's a double move because I have
Gotcha.
medium load and medium armor.
Hazen.
Jason's gonna move up here and open this door.
Mm-hmm.
It's a basilisk.
That would not go as he is planning.
So as you open the door, you see what looks like a storage room with a trap door actually just hanging with like its latch open going downward.
He is going to move here and open this door.
That is a window.
He's going
Crap.
to open the window.
Can he get through the window? Is it
It
big
is
enough
not
that he could
op-
open it and have
This
mirror?
window is not openable. You could try to squeeze through it, but you'll have to roll me an acrobatics. It's a small window.
I was gonna try and cut him off at the pass. So
Yeah, these windows aren't designed to be opened or like big enough for anyone to move through in this room. These windows are very much just to not let the funk stay in here.
and can he still? He's kind of had an interaction and a half. Can he still open this chest or inspect it?
It looks like everything in this room has been knocked over, picked clean, and kicked around. So
I gotcha.
I just did I didn't have an open chest to put on the map.
He looks back at Mira and says, "The window doesn't budge. If you're gonna chase him the other way."
I'm not going to chase him. All right, so that'll be the first round of fatigue. Immediately looking at this person, do they got a spellbook on them?
Looking over, they do not.
Sorry, this one ain't a wizard.
Are you speaking to me? Sorry, my mind was elsewhere. Elsewhere?
Yeah, there's no spellbook.
You should try else a while.
I prefer else who.
All right.
Not else.
You said...
Is he Elsa?
I'm sorry, I just love that entire bit from Avengers Infinity War. Where's Gamora? I'll do you one better. Who's Gamora? I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?
Unfortunately, our cleric is not here today. Which means that one is probably going to bleed out on the floor.
Oh yeah. The one that you just killed, the woman, she's just dead, and the other one, is bleeding out.
Because I can't even roll heal, because you can't roll heal unless you have it as at least a point in it.
Yep.
All right, gonna look down this cellar.
Roll me a perception.
Perception.
Looking down, it looks like this just leads down into the underdocks, which is like a traveling area but in the city. It's lesser used because it's more used for less upscale uses, more for like the criminal underbelly, quite literally underbelly.
Mm-hmm.
But it does lead throughout the town. It's just very mucky. And then we will go ahead and go to Zudor.
Right, so I should have enough movement to do this. Then I am well within range. I am going to cast Daze again. DC 14 will save. Aha!
He is most definitely dazed.
So he will not move.
He is locked in place. His turn is done, and it goes to Alex.
Splatty cake, splatty cake.
Well, sheathing the sword, I'm gonna go ahead and try and grab him. So there is CMB. There it is.
That cantrip is only good for the 2 minutes that you're a level 2 wizard.
That will grapple him.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he does get an AOO because I think the days only happen during the turn.
Yes, and it opposes no other disadvantages. He just doesn't do something.
So he will attack you when you're trying to grapple him, but with your armor and stuff. Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah, Alex is the tank.
Mm-hmm. Sword and board for the win.
Yeah, I picked a good time to build a ranged focus character with this party, it seems like.
Just a tad.
Shut the door, Zood.
Cope, are you going to have Hazen do anything, or is he just scoping everything out?
Yeah, he's gonna come search these two in more length.
You finish that sentence.
See if they have any potions on them. We're down a cleric. It'd be nice to be able to heal up.
He will see if they have any potions on them. We're down a cleric.
Looking over their bodies, the one person on them has a scroll of mage armor. Quarterstaff, dagger, component pouch, spell components, nothing really extravagant.
Can we, in society, can we take their items?
Yeah. The only thing is that at the end of the campaign, like the end of the adventure, you don't get to keep any items normally. I let you guys keep any scrolls or potions you find, But if you find other items, they add to your purchasable list.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. But
So like
that,
if you find
that
like if you say
scroll
you find
makes-
like a +1 longsword, or the back a flaming longsword.
Mhm.
Well, you can use that the entire adventure, but once the adventure ends, you technically relinquish that to the society. But it adds to your list of things you could buy. Is you could buy a +1 flaming longsword.
Do we split the value of it in the group?
Values of what you are rewarded with is already decided on the society sheet that I have at the end of things, depending on what you find.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure these are designed to be anti-loot ninja. If that's what you're worried about.
Yeah.
So.
No,
Granted, if you
I mean, I
if
was
you
just
find
curious.
things,
Like, was there any reason to add dagger to my list? But I guess not.
no. But again, stuff you find is still useful because it does add towards your stuff you can have.
And at the start of a new session, if I wanted to just buy a regular dagger, I could buy a regular dagger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Granted, if you have like a bow or something and you find arrows, I'll let you just keep the arrows. That's no issue.
Gotcha.
But yeah, on her you find a scroll of mage armor. You actually also find a scroll of disguise self.
Great.
And then on the other people, you find some arrows, their equipment, as well as some silver earrings.
Do we
Which
want
I'll
to do a loot list?
No, I'll let you know. Any of the stuff you find, like the silver earrings, for example, are already calculated onto what I reward you with, so don't worry too much about that.
Okay.
The scrolls you do get to keep, so if you want to keep those, just add them to your sheets.
Well, he'll never be a caster. Can I go ahead and tell Zudor to add it to his?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's fine.
Are we out of combat?
No, but at the end of this fight, you can say that you have them because he's going to give them to you.
Okay. The scroll of disguise self and the scroll of mage armor.
Yes.
Okay.
Scrolls can also be burnt to add to your spell book if you don't have certain spells.
Yeah,
No.
imagine Miro and Hazen don't know y'all are still fighting, so we're like in here just poking around.
It is Miro's turn.
All right, that'll be the second round of being fatigued.
There you go. I'm gonna hang on to that scroll of disguise self because I don't actually have that in my spell book. I have mage armor, but
Mm-hmm.
All right, coming down. Here I will make my way. Oh, he's still here.
You see as he's struggling to Alex is just gripping the back of his collar.
yes, he's here for now.
Yeah, why don't you close the door?
Fortunately, that was as far as I could move for this turn. And because I'm fatigued, I definitely can't move any further.
I did this in a bad way, but I should have been. Hold on.
Just
There we
give me a
go.
second there, Hayes. I'm a little tuckered.
I'll get the door.
You interpose yourself, and he is going to try to break free, but
Mhm.
he doesn't really seem to have an out right now.
Yeah, it is only a 14 for him to break free.
He does not. He's doing that thing where he's just trying to swing behind him to try to knock your hand free, but you just have him by the scruff of his neck.
I'm going to try and leverage it into a pin.
Yep, that pins him. And from there, we can probably assume that the combat is over as you guys can hog tie him. And
Yep.
Why the rush, man?
I need to take a
Just got a
rest,
couple
so
questions for you.
I'll be right back. 1 second.
yeah, now is probably a good time to go take a bathroom break for anyone who needs it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes, you have a man hogtied. He is hurling a bunch of different obscenities that I can't think of off the top of my head. Lots of fuss, lots of shits, lots of bitches.
I'm gonna check his pockets.
Find another silver ring that seems to be like a signet kind of thing,
Mhm.
but otherwise, just what he already had on him, like weapons and armor.
Do I recognize the signet on the ring?
You do not.
Yeah, those could be useful. So, Who sent you to check in on the moneylender here?
I ain't telling y'all shit. He's just like looking at you and like spits on the floor at your feet.
Works for
Kinda.
me. I'm gonna roll an intimidate as I come up to him with my bastard sword.
But perhaps you already have.
To maybe change his disposition a little bit.
Yep. Roll that intimidate. Yeah, as you like point the bastard sword towards his neck, he's like, okay, wait. Like, we can be friends. Yeah, no, I will tell you what. Just listen. I don't want to end up like Darciel, or not Darciel, fucking Katia over there.
Yeah, unfortunate.
I saw what you did with that thing. Whatever you want to know, I'll just tell you whatever.
Yeah, unfortunate. I imagine she knew a good deal more than you, but well, let's start where I wanted to start. Who sent you here?
It is a sorry way to part ways.
We listen. We just worked for Demore. On the Hydra's Fang, pirating. You know, just did what we do to survive. You know. Just kind of like looks over you all, and like not sure what else to say.
So you might know where he's hanging out here. Yeah.
He's when you ask him, it's like, if you back in the storage room in this building, there is a trapdoor that leads to the underdocks that you can head through to find way towards the Hydra's Fang. There's some harbor guards down there that should know where he's moored the ship. He's been moving it quite often. We're supposed to ask them where it was and docked so we can find him when we were finished here. We don't know exactly where he's keeping it docked at the moment.
So how many of his boys are on the shore with him? Not counting yourselves, obviously.
I believe he took everyone else back to the ship. The guards work for the city here. They're just holding the boats to have them be sent to send us back to the ship.
As some fancy rocks he picked up. You wouldn't happen to know if he still has them. Tablets.
Tablets. Yeah, he originally came here to offload them, but the owner here decided that he needed to pay up first before he would do anything exchange-wise. And well, he kind of looks over at the two bodies with pooling blood. He kind of took exception to that, and this is kind of how we ended up in this situation. And he kind of like chuckles awkward, like,
yeah. I see that he took exception to that. Any other questions, guys?
Walk up from behind and say, "Where's Demore?"
He said he's on the ship, I think.
Yeah, he's like he should be back on the ship. The guards know where he moored the ship. He keeps moving it so people can't find him.
Yeah. So where'd he last moor it, do you know? I imagine he's moved it by now, but
yeah, he would explain where they had basically offloaded them on. But that's the last time they know where he was, and they were supposed to be escorted back, or at least told where to go with the boats when they were done here.
Yeah. Anyone else got any questions? Alex kind of looks around.
Are the sea guards, you call them, down below, are they waiting for you in particular, or just someone?
I think they knew Katya by face, but the rest of us were just supposed to accompany her. They just work for the city. They're basically guards of the town that keep watch on the different ferries.
Right. And removing the dead woman's face is out of the question, so we might have to use a persuasive touch. Right? And I just looked at everyone like, right? What I said was right?
Probably wouldn't go over well. So I got one question I'm saving for last, but anyone else in character has anything to ask?
Have you ever
No.
danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
I did, but he doesn't call me back. Said I was too creepy.
I hate it when the devil ghosts you.
So I think you can go ahead and ask your last question if you want, Kuna.
All right. Well, that seems to settle matters. But one more thing I want to know: when he got those tablets, so a little while back, were you with the crew?
When you asked him that, he's like, yeah, we were with the crew.
You know what they did to that town, right?
He kind of just swallows hard. It doesn't really seem like he wants to say.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I'm gonna just take the longsword out and run him through.
And he spits out some blood and falls to the ground.
Heartless.
Yay, Pathfinder Society.
Fascinating.
It's a lot raised an entire town, you know that. If he hadn't been with the crew by then, I was gonna let him go.
You reap what you sow.
Yep.
But you could have been lying and just did a coin flip on his answer.
Oh, yeah, no, I did the coin flip as to if I was gonna do it, since we had him captured, or just turn him in. But we don't have time to turn him in.
Especially
The other two, did they have rings?
Especially since
Yeah, they all have those,
guards
like,
are on the take.
crude signet rings.
Maybe
Whoever
I need
has
those
time.
to get the guards to lead us where we're going.
Mhm.
Out of curiosity, what's everyone's alignment?
I'm neutral good.
Chaotic good.
Chaotic good.
Okay. Miro is true neutral.
Mm. Yeah, no, I wouldn't have even flipped the coin if I was lawful good, because brigands, bandits, and pirates,
Oh my.
they're a threat to people.
Are just people that we call those who aren't affiliated with the government. Bye.
Yep.
All
And
right.
we're
So let's-
Pathfinder Society. We don't have time for.
how are we going to go about finding Demore?
All right.
He said to go down the tunnels, and
Talk to the
the
guard.
Harpers, yeah, the Harpers would know.
All right. It sounds like
So
that's
y'all-
our next destination, huh?
So you're all taking the trapdoor down?
Did we have any other leads up top?
You do not know.
Yeah, so I think we're all going down there. But
Yeah.
I won't speak for
Major.
everyone.
My
Keep
mage
it
armor
moving.
lasts for 2 hours, so I'm set there.
Is there any order you guys like march in, essentially going down, or
Probably Alex in front because he's the tank.
Mhm.
Ian back, some of the squishy wizard.
Hazen's
Miro
going to
shortly behind.
come over to Zudor and hand him those two scrolls and say, "Are these two things you could use?"
Ah, excellent. I was looking for those. Thank you. And I put them in
You-
a jacket
found-
pocket.
What?
meanwhile, as you're having this conversation, as you're walking, Alex, roll me a reflex save as you begin to climb down this trapdoor, and Miro hadn't noticed that the handles were the ladder was greased.
Whip.
Yeah, you fall down onto some jagged rocks and take 6 points of damage.
Hey, yeah. Watch out for the handles.
Greased ladder, classic. Do you want me to creep along in front, see if we can't
And maybe
prevent
grab one of their
accidents?
shirts and wipe them off.
Yeah,
There's
easy
something.
enough to do. It's really meant to be a trap for the first person who goes down, and
Yeah.
Michael just had them to roll a 10 instead of the 15 needed.
No, can't win them all.
But as you make your way down, you enter a gloomy greenish twilight where scattered beams of light filter down between these weathered dock planks, bouncing off seaweed-covered stones that jut out from the harbor waters. A forest of pylons suspend the docks above, where the scurrying of feet of merchants, sailors, and longshoremen hammer down, almost like a muffled thunderstorm.
Looks unsteady.
As you
I think they need to
move-
construct additional pylons.
Yeah, as you move between the pylons, you spot small bunkers, ruins of old siege forts, and that are now crumbling and weathered from centuries of angry waves. A narrow set of docks traverse the rocks, connecting to various locations. Nearby, all lead out to the shallow bay at the mouth of the maze. Although nearby, you do notice a fresh trail of muck-limed wet footprints. If anyone would wish to make a survival roll to kind of try to follow these footprints, you may.
Let me check my survival. I'm not actually sure what it is.
Yeah, I don't have a trained. It's just a 2.
I can. I think I can roll it because it's a class skill, right?
If it's untrained, well, I guess it depends on the stat. You can roll it, but survival.
I don't have any bonuses.
Yeah.
11.
Yeah, you can do it on train, so you just get whatever you get.
Yeah, so why don't Zudor, why don't you do your little prescience trick and
Nope.
You probably have a good okay.
I look. I bend down. I look at the footprints and I nod and go, "I see. It's happening again."
I was just saying, if you did your prescience, you could roll that twice.
I was gonna say you could say that anyway because it wasn't actually very hard to find these tracks. In fact, Alex, with that 13, you're easily able to follow them. They take you out towards the mouth of the area into a small dock with a small bunker nearby it. Looking over, you see a pair of rowboats and a couple of consortium officials kind of sitting there, like leaning against some poles and stuff. Kind of just minding their own business. They don't they see you as you're approaching, but they don't really seem to make much of it as they are just kind of on guard. It's not like illegal to be down here, so. For this, whether you get into a fight or not, I will take you to the map.
All right, which one of you is a talker?
If anyone, probably Hazen.
Go on, Hazen, work your magic.
Allow me. I want to walk out to them.
Hazen's jaw just kind of drops when Zudor says that, and he goes, "This will be good."
All right, so first things first, as Michael to point out, I can do this on skill rolls, so... Okay, so if I get a natural 1, that is better.
Hey, it's always good to roll it, because it's basically rolling it twice.
Yeah, I just have a limited number of times I can do that per day.
Yeah.
If it was
I'm just saying, if you really want something, being able to roll it twice is nice.
Yeah, no. This is the thing I enjoy about this build I did, is that... It's a little weak at level 2, but if I was doing like a full AP adventure, it would, pardon the pun, just get better with time.
That's also a good thing to do with these Pathfinder societies. If like someone beefs it in a campaign, this is also a good way to test out character concepts, and you could honestly just be like, "Oh, a Pathfinder member shows up into this area as he's on his own adventure."
Oh yeah, I'm 100% going to do this Chronomancer build in an AP, either
but
a
I'm saying you could like
just
even have
another
the same
character.
characters in like one of these things we do, like because next time we play again, you guys don't have to use the same characters. You can swap into other characters and try out different things.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say next time we play, if Loki's not here, I might just roll up a cleric or something so we have some healing capability.
Yeah. So Zudor, you approach this man.
Yep. Greetings, good sir. I would like to discuss business with you.
We're already on our own business. If you don't have any business here, please move along.
Well, I was wondering if perhaps I could add some side business to your current business going on. Jingle a coin purse a little bit.
They kind of like they don't move their head, but you can kind of see their eyes kind of drift towards the bag and then back up. What do you want, sir?
Lower voice, step a little bit closer. I'm looking for some friends of mine. Thought perhaps you could send us out in the right direction.
But he like the other guy kind of just gives him a nod, and he has his arms crossed, but you see one of the hands kind of come up from underneath and kind of hold out a hand, like waiting expectantly.
Mhm. Yeah, hold on, let me see how much gold I have. I want to put 5 gold coins into his hand.
He kind of just scoffs at it and pockets it. Please move along, sir.
Well, that was just the opener, you see. I have certain friends who would be very interested in meeting some of your friends. And my friends happen to have a, how should we say, excess connection to the gold mining industry.
He's just kind of looking at you like,
I want to roll a diplomacy to see how this goes. May I?
Sure. Yeah, feel free.
I mean, technically I can use my 9.
All
so
right.
we are under guard of the facility. If you have no business, either move along or you will be detained.
Walk up behind Zudor, having put the little pirate signet on one hand, clap that hand onto Zudor's shoulder. Pardon the newbie. We're just looking to get back to the Fang. Business is done on the docks.
Don't recognize you lot, but if you have those rings and if you can present a if you can present a harbor master pass, we'll let you go. But those rings don't mean nothing without the pass.
I will pass up a sack of 50 gold pieces up to Alex and goes, "There's our harbor master pass, sir."
He kind of like, are you handing it to Alex or are you handing it to the guard?
He's
Handing it to Alex, and he can hand it to the guard if he wants to.
Maybe this bad. Go be a little more properly paperworked. Newbie heroes us all around the drinks for not getting through to you. Give Zudor a little shake.
Go ahead and roll me a diplomacy.
Not my best. In fact, it's a -1.
So he's not hostile towards you or anything. So there's that. But he kind of looks over and he does take the bag and opens it up and kind of looks into it. Well, this looks like enough for me, but my friend over there needs a little bit too.
Always got to grease the wheels.
To put it into non-narrative speak, you've paid enough for him, but you need to also pay his friend an equal amount.
So 50 or 55?
I'll say, just to speed things up, you need another 45 gold to grease the wheels.
Does anyone else have that much money?
Yeah, this is mighty hard on us, but yes.
So, are these guys wearing like chainmail or plate or something?
They are wearing, let me just double check real quick, because I don't want to say it and then be wrong, but they're wearing studded leather.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Not going to sink like a stone.
I know.
The thought did occur to me to extend my arm with the gold pieces, and then as he reaches for it, push him into the water.
There we go. Only one of you now.
But yeah, does somebody pay the extra 45?
Yeah, I just took it off my gold.
Gotcha. So yeah, after you give him the money, he looks over his friends like, well, I think we're relieved here, and he kind of looks over to a lot of you. He's docked over by, I don't really have an actual location where he is, but they know where he is, and they can give you the details.
Yeah,
mighty generous.
Give us
Perhaps
some
the
more
next
wind
round.
directions.
Yep.
Perhaps the next round's on you folk when we make port again.
We'll see. One of them, you see the one farther out, lets out a whistle, and flopping onto the deck is this creature you wanted to avoid having to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It is a sea cat.
Have a sea dog.
I think you mean a catfish.
It looks like this, if you can get a better vision with the big one.
That's a cool monster.
But it flops onto the deck and kind of like moves with its front paws as its back the back legs are kind of like a fish thing, and it kind of follows them out, and they just leave you to be.
Fancy guard dog they had.
Better we get in as few conflicts as possible. Let's find more.
Eh,
Gonna open this door behind him.
Yeah, let me reveal.
That should have gone.
Shame we had to pay that much, but I'm sure we'll be compensated in full by the society.
Best not to aggravate the locals while we're there. Hazen, what you doing over there?
Snooping.
Yeah, inside you see inside there is a ring of keys that are inside hanging in this bunker. You see oars leaned against the wall just beyond the door. You see a wooden box that has upon opening up with that perception is a single brass coin about the size of a diameter of an apple. With the insignia of the Cordos Consortium on it.
Check for traps, and then pick up the keys, pocket those, and take the coin.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to roll for traps again?
You don't have to, no.
Okay.
Looking at the coin, it definitely looks like it's something to do, like some kind of like rather than a monetary thing, it seems to be some kind of official thing for this city.
Yeah. What consortium?
It is called the I was just on the tab. Hold on a second.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have written it down.
It's fine. It's from the where is it? Sorry. Blah 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 blah. Cortos Consortium. Kortos.
Nothing in there. A couple of empty boxes.
All right.
But yeah,
So
you-
did they
you
say
see-
that? Did they say that the ship that we're looking for was docked somewhere that we could get to on foot, or do we have to take a boat to the ship?
You would have to take the boat.
Hmm.
The docks here are so cramped that you can't actually get a big ship in.
Got it.
But yeah, sorry, I'm still going on with the stuff that was in the room. You also find a manifest log as well as a small map about the harbor that has some details of where they told you the location, so it's easier to figure out where you're going.
Oh yeah, these might be helpful. And he's gonna hold up the map and then out the door, and then put it back down so they can come in and review it. And a manifest log. He's gonna skim through there.
It just seems to dictate about the comings and goings of the ships.
What's the
in
guy's
area.
name we're after?
Dumore.
Dumore. Is he
Yeah.
listed in there?
He is indeed. So, if you hadn't, this
When
is
was he
also like
last
if you hadn't greased the guards, you could have gotten the information from this. And looking at it, you kind of piece together that the coin is definitely a harbor master pass.
Well, at least I have one in my back pocket now.
But yeah, so the only way it seems to get to the ship is to go by boat, and each boat can fit both two of you. So the question is, who's rowing with who?
I'll go with Alex.
Cool. So Zudor and Miro are.
I mean, I got those weak nerd arms.
Miro's just in the back, and it's fucking flames coming out of the back, speeding down, nose up in the air like a speedboat.
Sorry to
Yeah.
put you on the spot, Alex, but that Zudor makes a lot of strange comments.
He's a weird one, definitely.
Speaking of which, as we're, I'm assuming we can just skip ahead to as we're just rowing there.
Yeah. Well, I have some narrative stuff as you.
Okay,
leave, but you can.
Okay,
go
cool.
I'm
ahead and
getting
do
to
what
the
you're-
boat, bitches.
I also want to say some stuff. So.
Yeah. So go ahead and continue, but I'll give the narration afterwards.
So as we're just slowly making our way there, Miro will start to make casual conversation with Zudor. I'll say, you're a weird one, aren't you? Even among wizards.
I have been told that this is true.
So what's your story?
Well, it's sort of in the process of happening, I guess you should say. I connected a few dots and a few books, saw a few things, got thrown out of a few libraries. And now I'm here working for the Pathfinder Society, which I forgot I had a membership to for around 20 years. Now I'm trying to look into the future to make a better past, so to speak. But now, I'm glad I had this moment with you, my good friend, my new good friend, my new old good friend. You're from Cheliax, if I piece together the accent and also the proclivity for hellfire.
Yes, I'm from Cheliax.
Ah, splendid. I might use the assistance of someone with your, how we say, expertise.
Depends on what you think my expertise is.
Well, forgive me if I say that this is all just poor stereotypings, but amongst the halls of academia back in Talador, it is commonly stated that back when the Empire was full, there were no people that had more cunning than the fair folk of the lands of Cheliax. And as you might have noted with your comments, I am a touch on the unfocused side. It is a, let's say, a side effect of some of my discoveries. So it might be mutually beneficial for some of our own interests if we would say pool resources and understanding, especially since, as you might know, some people in the Pathfinder Society are more, how we should say, imperial views.
Can I get that in common?
I need your help with something. Because I am bad at some things, despite trying many, many times. And I believe we could be a team.
Depends on what you need help with.
I am looking for a coin.
Okay. Well, between you and me, kind of looking forward at the boat with Hazen and Alex in it. That Hazen fellow has always been stingy with the treasure. If you don't find it on the boat, I'd ask him. He might be hiding it from you.
Excellent advice. We should probably also keep an eye on that Alex fellow. And Dorian, judging by his demeanor, they do tend to be a rash and presumptuous folk as well.
And as we're talking, Miro will stop rowing for a second, and he'll take out the scroll tube on his back and reveal his scroll of devil binding. And he goes, almost made me part with this beauty just for coin.
Fascinating, of course. No, you made the right call there. These are not easy to find, especially in these parts. Seems absurd to part with it. You would do well to hang on to that and keep it close and safe.
Slide it back into the scroll tube and begin rowing again. I've got a personal use I have in mind for it, but probably not for quite some time.
Ah, good. I like surprises, especially when they're spoiled for me. But we should definitely keep and if you intend to use that, then we should definitely keep an eye out on our fellow Andorian Pathfinder there. They do tend to oppose things related to the Infernal Pit on principle is what they would probably say. I don't put stock in it.
As you're
Flash.
speaking, go ahead.
Sorry,
Oh, sorry, I
flash
interrupted.
to Hazen and Alex in their boat. Hazen looks over, dead silence. Alex, I think we need to be about 5 degrees more to starboard.
Grunts and steers the boat a little bit.
Sorry for talking so much.
Well, upon exiting the underdocks,
We emerge from the bottom of the ocean, the Underdark.
As you exit the underdocks,
I think we made a
Enter
wrong
the-
turn.
We are very.
I was gonna say earlier that the Underdock sounds like it would be the name for the place we're in Dammer Hall right
Oh
now.
my god! Could you guys imagine just like give a rowing check in this, and someone gets a natural one, and then next session I just describe some weirdos rowing up to Denmark. What the hell happened?
but yeah, you enter the
Water's
shallows.
flat. How did we get lost?
You enter the shallows, a wide rocky bay only a few feet deep and closed off by immense seawalls that funnel all traffic into this maze. Strung between them, a host of steep maze walls crusted with seaweed, barnacles, and small shellfish create a narrow passage just wide enough for rowboats or rafts. Lashed along the sides are free-floating docks, which allow longshoremen to help pull boats through, or to the side for quick inspections. Every so often, a series of rusted spikes form a crude ladder, which leads up to the upper maze, where guards keep watch amidst strange shadows cast by weathered devices, such as giant winches, claw-like crane arms, or the like. Water splashes softly throughout, creating an eerie echo, and the entire structure groans with ominous creaks and strains as if you're traveling through the belly of a beast. Thankfully, navigating out of the maze is far easier than navigating inward, and the ever-watchful eyes of the enforcers on the wall fall almost entirely on the cargoes of incoming merchants. As you draw closer to the end, the sounds of the angry waves slam against the outer walls like echoing hordes of chanting goblins. You reach the outer docks. A grizzled longshoreman calls down to you from above, telling you to hold tight. The first gate opens with a lazy moan as he ushers you in to move your craft into the small chamber ahead. Once inside, he lowers the gate behind you and then bids you good luck as he slowly cranks apart the front doors to open the harbor, where dozens of galleons and merchant ships bounce softly on their moorings in the water. Having gotten the information of where you're heading towards, you make your way there.
Do we know which ship?
You do know what ship. You were given the information of which direction you're going and what the ship is general description of looks like. But you make it about a few hundred yards outside of the maze. Before you, as you're paddling, you notice, well, depending on who knows, just go ahead and roll me perception before I say any more. It's not a high DC, but if you roll low enough, it could.
That +2 is already factored in, so you know.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so you all notice. You see fins in the water, like two distinct fins moving quickly in the water, heading towards your direction. With those rolls, Miro and Hazen, you're the ones that noticed first as you see two humanoid-looking figures making the way towards your boats.
Oh no, not for the first time.
You see them, like one of them leap out of the water in like an arc, large trident in hand, as you are now being accosted by how do you say it? Sahagin, or whatever.
Yeah.
However you say the name.
Sagween, yeah.
As you are now presented with a time to roll more initiative.
Okay, before anyone rolls initiative, this is important. I'm going to spend 1 point of my temporal pool, and I am going to give, let's see, Miro a 1d4 to his initiative. Because I can give myself or an ally a 1d4 to their initiative when they roll by spending 1 point.
You want me to roll that or you?
You can go ahead. I'm marking stuff off on my sheet.
All right, just gonna be a +1.
I mean, it's been done. As I literally just, without looking, go, quick, shark people!
Bruh.
16.
Yeah, we've got company off the starboard bow.
You don't know what sides of the ships are things, do you, Go?
I mean, I do in real life. I don't know. I couldn't hear what you said there.
I'm pretty sure. Hold on.
Either way, it is not a surprise
Well,
round
it's
as
off
you
your
all
port,
saw them
my
coming.
starboard.
So Hazen, you are up first as you see this
Okay, I can
Sahagin
see the
heading
second
towards
one.
your
So, yeah,
direction.
that is starboard. Because I was going to say, I'm like, the guy over here's off the port.
And technically, they wouldn't be quite these. I'll show you where more they would more be like here. They are coming up behind you.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have my shield on because I'd be rowing.
Also, while Cope is muted and deciding on what he's doing, I'll show you the picture they actually had in the book of these things because it is hilarious.
Yeah, I'm sure. Sometimes the art doesn't always match up.
Cope, if you're saying
Can you-
anything, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Is there an anchor behind me?
There is not. You're in rowboats.
The robot,
Right.
yeah. Oh, yeah, the Pathfinder ones are so much wimpier than the 5th edition ones. It's unreal.
They just kind of look like sea goblins.
More or less, yeah.
Very
Yeah.
World of Warcraft, Sahagin.
And they definitely look hostile.
They look very aggressive and heading straight towards your boats.
All right, I'm gonna throw a shoe at him.
You launch one of your rocks and it just pings into the water. It's impressive that it skips as many times, but it just doesn't hit anything. Miro. I will say, during your turn, since there's not a lot of movement, you can shift your boats. Whoever wants to do it, it can be either one. And as a movement, you can swap each other around in the boat. I'm not going to be like, okay, well, you have to delay to move and stuff. Like, if Miro wanted to be where Zudor is on your turn, you could just swap.
Can we say that we don't actually swap in the robo? He just grabs the oar and Tokyo jerks us around.
Sure.
All right, yeah, let's swap places.
All right.
Change places.
Multi-wave drifting.
That's impossible! Eurobeat starts just emanating from the ocean.
All
Deja
right,
vu.
don't have looks like any ranged options. So I will prepare an attack, I guess, or when he gets in range.
Gotcha. Well, it will bring us to Zudor then.
All right.
Keep in mind, you guys can use your action to move the boats.
Mhm.
If you can't think of anything else to do.
Let's see. What's the range on this one? That would be that again. Hey, okay. I'm gonna cast Acid Splash.
Acid splash. Roll that.
1 damage.
If you hit.
If I hit, I know. It's 1 freaking damage. Sad.
It's a cantrip in Pathfinder. What do you expect?
Yeah, I know. Let's see. My dex is it's plus 3.
Keep in mind, by the way, when we do
It actually hits.
when we do official APs and stuff, I do allow cantrips to be 1d6s instead of 1d3s.
Okay.
That's
Not for this, but it's basically weaker still than a crossbow, but it seems more like a cantrip to be useful for a wizard in level 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the thing about it's weaker low levels. And
Yeah, I only did use my crossbow because I got limited ammo.
Yeah.
There we go. Just created a little macro for doing that since it's not auto rolling them for me.
So you said you were preparing an action for Miro,
Yep.
so you will get to take it.
All right.
They will have a +1 to their AC because they're mostly in the water, but just FYI.
And let me turn off flame damage. Nope, that was normal damage. I need to take off the flame damage. Because I'm not Hellfire striking him. Alright. 23 for
That
7.
will hit. Before this one has a chance to do anything, you just stab into the water, and like the water still turns red as you pull it back, and you see the shape just drifting into the depth.
Good show, old boy. That went much better than last time.
The other one is going to try to knock the boat and capsize it.
Mm.
See, that will be a strength check, so that'll be a 1d20 plus numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, numbers.
I know, right? At least it's not letters.
Come on. Sorry, roll 20s. All of a sudden, hiccuping.
And I'm
Like a
sure
21.
it made Murloc noises as it died.
So yeah, it does tip the boat, so you both are now in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Some bitch.
Which means swim checks.
Yep. First up is a swim check.
You guys put points into swim, right?
Yeah.
I always do.
14. I believe that's enough. Let me just go double check. Calm waters swim DC is 10. So
Mm-hmm.
you may move up to half your speed as a full round action, rather, or a quarter of your speed as a move action.
Well, I don't have any poking items, so I'm going to try and climb back in the boat.
Go ahead and give me a strength check because you have to write it back up because it's upside down currently.
Mm.
It's still floating, but
Can't get any footing.
yeah, you can't quite. You're keeping it from taking on water while it's upside down to prevent it from sinking, but that's about as much as you can do currently. Hazen, give me that swim check.
I don't think my sheet's working correctly. If it is a class skill, you get an extra 3 to it, correct?
Only if you put a point in it.
Only if you have a point in it.
Well, I've got a point in it, and I have a +1 from strength, and it's only giving me a +2 modifier.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
should have a
Is your armor? Or
Oh yeah, your
Not
armor.
carrying
check
armor.
penalty.
My armor has a -1,
Well,
so
which
it should
armor
be
are
at
you?
least it should be a 4.
You have
Yeah, it should
studded
be-
leather armor -1.
Do you have
And I
any-
noticed earlier that my AC wasn't calculating correctly either. Now it is.
Yeah, for some reason it just wasn't doing it before, but
All right, I'm close that sheet and I'm gonna reload real quick.
because it's shown it on my sheet too.
Also, you can just roll a d20 plus 4.
It's also a strength check. Remember, it's not a dex check.
Yep,
Mhm.
and I've got +1 strength modifier and then a point in it, so I should have 5 and then -1 for my.
Oh, you know what it is? It's your gear is weighing you down.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's stupid.
Yeah, it all calculates that.
I have 11 pounds of. I have 11 pounds of coins.
Yep.
Uncheck the coin.
Yeah, we don't usually
Can I
calculate.
uncheck my armor? Because armor doesn't usually.
Yeah, you can just put a 0 for your weight of your armor because you're wearing it, so it already has an armor check applied to it.
Yep.
So now your swim is a +4, so that's more.
Okay. Hey.
We usually
good
say
problem-solving,
even if you have so much coin that it would weigh you down, that's probably not actually on your person. It's probably
In a bag or like not quite.
Yeah.
Either way, it's just unfun to be like weighed down by coinage.
Mhm.
I don't.
You can also say that you upgraded the coins to platinum and
And rubies and stuff.
yeah, so or just anything else, but it's fine.
It all got stolen
Either
by a
way,
richly handsome
um,
pirate.
You
You
just
do fail that swim check.
after all that.
Good news is you do not make so bad of a swim check that you begin drowning. You just can't seem to move from your place. You're struggling to keep above. So you basically have a move or a standard action, but you can't actually move from your space.
I will So I have a move or standard, but the move cannot move. So I'm going to pull my rapier and prepare to attack this guy as a standard. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. And I am going to
keep in mind, if you're in the water, you will be flat-footed when they attack you.
I'm going to say for my character, my stone bow sinks to the bottom.
You're like, I do not want that thing ever
I
again.
hate this fucking thing.
How far can I move the boat in a movement?
If you take your whole action to do it, I will say you can move it 20 feet. You're pretty strong. Like if it was Zudo, it'd probably be less.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move the boat down here next to our friends. So that, and I'll ask Zudor to, when we'll be close enough to try to help them get up.
Mhm.
Also, I really like these rowboat tokens I found.
Oh, now it's kind of awkward. I'll just put,
Yeah, you can just put it yourself there, but I'll fix it on the map layer to be more accurate.
Mm-hmm.
But that will be Nero's turn.
Hmm.
And it'll be Zudor.
Okay.
Help our friends back onto their boat.
Which is currently upside down. Fortunately, probably won't sink that way, but flipping it back up is going to be fun.
I mean, can I just mage hand flip it?
I think it weighs more than 5 pounds.
Yeah.
I can mage hand 15.
No, way more than that.
It
Will
still weighs more than 15.
Okay, well that's why I was asking.
yeah.
No, you're fine.
Don't actually.
I'm not judging you over here.
Think about it. If it's tipped over upside down, when you try and flip it back over, it gets full of water, so it is very heavy to flip back over.
Mhm.
Well, if it's flipped over, it wouldn't necessarily be full.
Yeah, it wouldn't be filled.
But the act of
But in
flipping
the action of flipping it.
yeah.
I mean, like a couple.
Unless you can
cups,
lift it
but-
clear of the water before you flip it, like in shallow water. If you can.
Well,
lift
that's why I'm having you guys make a strength check when you do it. So
Yeah.
Either way, the mage hand will not work for this in particular.
Okay. I am the wizard is the problem, so there's not a lot I can do. I could destroy the boat.
No.
You could maybe aid them on their attempt or something, help lift them or something.
Yeah, I guess I'll just
Or
do that then.
do something against the Sahagin.
I mean, yeah, I could do that too. That's probably easier.
Just burn him.
Yeah. That
Alright,
also
I cast-
works.
I cast fireball. No, I'm joking.
What are water
I am
creatures?
impressed.
Yeah, could you imagine that?
You
Even
cast
though you
fireball,
destroyed the boat.
everyone dies except for the fish man because he is underwater.
I think I would win Kenneth's character optimization trophy if I could make a level 2 wizard that could cast fireball.
Yeah.
I think I would get the crown. Nope, that'll miss.
Yeah, that will miss. And the Sahagin can 5 foot underwater.
Swim speed.
So he's going to do that, and then he is going to rip into Hazen with a trident and a bite attack.
Can I use my held stab first?
Yeah.
Die before you attack me.
That does not hit.
Oh,
Fuck.
That would have been really good damage, too.
I was really hopeful with your pause that I killed him.
I had to check because it's very close. So first is the trident.
Miss. Oh wait, flat-footed. Yeah, I'm sure that misses.
It's 7, so.
Yeah.
And the other one he'll try to bite at you with the second attack.
That will hit.
Okay, so you will take 4 points. Actually, it would be lower than no one. Actually, I take it back. Sorry, that is correct. So yeah, 4 points of damage.
Okay.
But that's all he can do. It is now Alex's turn.
Mm-hmm. Have to make another swim check.
Yes. Yep, you're good.
So I'll keep trying to flip the boat.
Roll me that strength check. Oh yeah.
'Cause,
Like it's actually honestly impressive as like Alex just grabs the nose of the boat and like swims in a circle and manages to right the boat with very little water log.
I have a quick question. What are prestige points?
Those determine what you can buy and stuff, and your prestige with your faction.
Okay, got it.
Skins.
I have them. I just put them on your sheet, and you can keep track of them. But because once you get to prestige 10, it opens up a lot more stuff you can buy.
All right.
Like for instance, Chiliax. Once you get to prestige 10, where is it?
You bought a devil.
You can still get stuff like resist energy fire for 20, scroll of suggestion, blah blah blah. You can get any +2 armor shields, and then you also once per scenario you can choose one spell from the spell list in chapter 6 of the handout. It's 150 gold pieces or less, and have that spell cast on your character for free.
All right.
It can only be done in Absalom or Chiliax.
This is really weird. It feels more like you're playing a video game.
It's meant to be like that.
It's to make it it feels weird for us because
it's not weird in a bad way. It just feels different from the other.
It's meant to be played differently than normal.
And I could see how younger generations would.
Well, it's not about a youth thing. It's about the ability to get a bunch of randos who don't know each other at the table and stop two people from ruining the entire thing for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, Hazen, you're up. Go ahead and make that swim check. See if you can do anything other than just a single action.
And it's a little bit more goal reward oriented.
It's meant to be because it carries over across multiple games. You actually get a paper that tells you what you did in a session, and nowadays they submit it online and everything.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Screw that. I'm stabbing this guy.
You have to make a swim check before you can do anything anyway.
Oh, swim check. I'm drowning as I try and stab this guy. I forgot to swim before I stab. Oh, no!
Yeah, you're struggling. Hazen is struggling. That will be your turn. That is Almiro's turn. With a movement, you could get it close enough to stab at this guy.
All right, let's do that. Close enough to stab, and I will power attack.
You just stand on the front of the boat and just stab at him.
26 for 9.
This one won't kill him outright, but he does definitely feel it. Brings us to Zudor.
All right. I'm gonna help action our flailing slayer. I don't know what his actual class is, but I'm gonna help him not die. Help action to his next swim check.
I think he's just a rook.
Go ahead and roll a d20 plus. I think do you add? I can't remember it. Help actions if you have to use the same skill or not. Can't remember how that works.
Yes.
Yeah, and you have to bypass a DC 10.
Yeah, DC 10.
Yeah. Just roll 5d20 for now, and
I could just hit my swim skill right here.
Yeah. I just wasn't sure if it was going to be a skill.
12.
Either way, 10 is minimum, so he gets a +2 on his next swim check.
Woo.
No, use that leg this way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really good at swimming. It's just I've never tried to fight while I'm doing it.
No, don't swim too far to the right, or you'll hit your head on the boat, fall to the bottom, and drown.
Over me! Don't crush me!
15 flat-footed against Hazen.
They'll find your body in 15 years.
What? Alex, see what I told you? He's just saying weird stuff.
Not the time.
That actually will hit flat-footed for Hazen, so he will take 4 points of damage from that trident. And then he will try to bite you as well. Which will hit for another 4. So this round you take 8.
No, I said the other way.
By the way, that's you, Cope, if you don't remember your name.
Oh, sorry, I was too busy arguing. 4 damage.
8 damage, because 15 hits your flat-footed. Because you're swimming and you failed your swim check. You're very much flat-footed.
The fish is eating me.
And then he is going
try not to do that.
5 foot over here.
He's taking parts of me away.
Brings us to Alex.
Kind of shakily get up to my 8 and pull out my short bow and try to hit him.
Go for it.
With deadly aim. 16.
That will hit, and that will bring it to 0. As it begins to sink into the water as well. And with that, flailing Hazen will finally make it back onto the boat.
Damn it!
I'm sure he
But with the
barfs up
+2
a
from
lung
Zudor,
full of
it's just enough.
water.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Okay, I'll just grab the back of your belt. Put your feet up. Oh,
Stop
not
touching my
that far.
butt! Stop touching my butt!
You'll like it in the future. Moving on.
I don't think I like fish. Right. Take a minute to reorient myself, and let's head back to the towards the pirate ship.
You may not like fish, but you do love that you hate them.
So, going through all that ordeal.
What the hell were those fish people doing? Just attacking random people in boats? There are people in boats all around here,
Yes, but we're in small boats.
and now they're dead.
Well,
Check to make sure I've still got everything.
no accounting for taste.
Yeah, everything's fine except for Cannon. His stone bow is now gone.
Yeah. Oh, I've already erased it from my sheet. It's literally in the bullets. He pulls out the sack of rocks. This makes it really hard to swim, and he throws them in the water.
So we don't keep weapons from the AP if we pick them up, right?
No. Anything special just goes to the list of things you could buy, but otherwise you just buy things between sessions.
Okay. In case we have any more water combat in this one, I'm gonna pick up one of these guys' spears.
Yeah, you can just have a trident for the
Yeah,
session.
trident. And just keep it on me in case we have to go underwater again.
That's smart.
But as you're making your way now back to the path you were following, you do eventually get close to the Hydra's Fang. At first you're not sure, but then you do actually see the Hydra's Fang's name has been rubbed out, but it's one of those things that's like it's hard to see from a distance, but once you get close, you can still kind of see the lettering. It is a small galley that sits kind of like the back of it seems to be leaning backwards a little bit, like it's probably taken on some water, but it's still it still floats. It just looks like it might have sustained some damage recently.
Is that boat sinking?
Not like that recently. It's still seaworthy, but barely. It's probably why they're here. It's probably to try to fix it up or some such. But yeah, the ship itself is there for you. There doesn't seem to be anyone like looking over to like spot you or anything at the moment.
All right. Is there somewhere to get like we could ladder or something for us to get on board?
Roll a perception.
Yeah,
Right.
Just have it hanging off the side? Some nets.
So yeah, anyone who rolls above it doesn't matter. Most of you rolled above 20, so I'll just let everybody know. The ship itself looks like it is going to be kind of difficult to just climb up the side of. Like the sides themselves are curved with very little in the way of handholds.
Yeah.
You think that maybe the best way to scale it would maybe be the anchor line, barring the use of maybe a grappling hook and rope if anyone is so inclined.
I think there might be a rope in the Blood Ragers kit, but I don't think there's a grappling hook.
Yeah. It is very much easier, though, to climb, it looks like, the rear end of the ship rather than the sides.
It's a Cella ship. We're going to have to climb up the anchor chain if we want to get up.
Got it. Before we do that, though, and I quickly dig into my bag, and I want to pull out a scroll of Anticipate Peril. I'm going to quickly cast that on myself. Give me a nice little initiative boost.
Richard, did you say the rear of the ship can be climbed or the anchor rope in the rear?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, looks to be our best bet without them throwing down any rigging.
I will tell you. I won't tell you all the DCs, but I will tell you the one with those rolls. The sides are going to be very hard to climb without like some kind of assistance because the sides are DC 25 to scale.
They haven't hurt us with the caster back there.
It's
It
murmuring.
didn't seem like You
Not
are
like
on
power
waters with a bunch of ships. And he doesn't have to scream the spell, so
It's loud and forceful is what I believe it says in the magic section. But yeah,
Well, hold on, let me check if
if it's got verbal components.
yeah, it's got verbal and somatic. Well,
either way, it's
I mean,
also you have
if,
to.
if it's
Go
a
ahead.
ship without someone in the crow's nest keeping a lookout, that means they're already a skeleton crew anyway.
All right.
Yeah, there is no one on the crow's nest, and it's not like it's quiet here. You do hear talking from other boats.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't like so far out from other boats that it's impossible or anything. So I'm not going to sweat you casting a spell without rolling stealth or anything.
All right, after you, Alex.
All right. I guess I'll get us close and start trying to climb. Assume you want a climb check.
Are you trying? Where are you climbing? The back or the anchor line?
Anchor line, I guess.
Just
It's the
go ahead and roll that
closest.
climb check. Yeah, you seem to. You do the thing where you like wrap your legs and hands around it, and you just begin to shimmy up. No problem.
Yeah, it's a chain. It shouldn't be too hard to climb.
Yeah, it's got built-in handholds, basically.
Next up, who's next to climb?
I will go ahead and roll. Climb.
I will bring you to actually the map where you can see where we are. I don't have the anchor line itself on the map, but
So I think,
so
That is
Miro and Alex
presumably-
are going up, no problem.
Yep. I'm just as adept at climbing as swimming.
Actually, before anyone else climbs up, Alex,
Mhm.
I need you to do me a thing.
Yeah, thing.
I need you to roll me a perception check as you're climbing.
I like this boat.
Okay, so when you get to the top, since you're the first one up, you put your hand on like the edge of the railing to lift yourself onto the deck, and you just notice that along the perimeter of the backside of this boat are little latches that if you pull too hard will cause a tripwire to douse the back of the boat with what you can only tell are buckets of chum.
Mm-hmm.
You imagine it's to attract more carnivorous fish to the area in case people are trying to climb. But you're able to see it in time, and you're able to notice where it is, so you can inform the party of what's happening.
Yep.
But Zudor and Hazen, go ahead and roll your climb checks.
All right, I'm just gonna use one more of these.
what is the mechanism to pull up this anchor chain? and
That's
would
what
it
I
be
thought.
Overly loud to try to do so.
It would be overly loud.
Okay.
It is a metal chain that goes down to the bottom of the water.
Okay, so,
Hazen does you begin to try to scale, Hazen,
Mm-hmm.
and immediately you lose grip on your hands and you're hanging by your feet and you like back down to the bottom.
if I may, because that 20 I just rolled was for my prescience,
Mhm.
so I just want to see what my actual climb check would have been.
Yeah.
13.
I mean, that would be enough to make it.
Oh, I was gonna say, because in my mind, what happened is that I was climbing up behind Cope, and I was based on his character's name, and he slips and he kicks me in the face, and the chum bug gets dumped on me, and I fall in the water, and then time just like Prince of Persia's back, and I'm like, you know what? I'll go first.
I mean, if you're going to use that 20 either way, I'll say that when you're
Yeah.
when Hazen is like struggling and he kind of loses his grip,
Mhm.
he just looks up to where his feet is, and he just sees you using your feet to just kind of walk up this chain.
Yeah.
Like you're not even using your hands; you just have your hands in your pockets of your coat, and you're just like stepping up the chain.
Practice makes perfect. You do it enough times, you figure out how it goes.
How many times have you climbed up a sea ship's anchor chain?
In this instance, too many.
Well, Hazen, since you failed, you will not be witness to this first thing that happens. So,
Zuder, thank you for going on the boat. I'm going to happily put myself back here.
So first, go ahead and roll initiative as this happens, as none of you rolled stealth to try to get on this boat.
Yep. I will
Mhm.
use another temporal point to give Alex a D4.
All right, that'll help somewhat since I rolled a fucking 1. Yay!
So first, I will clear away these sails.
I just like the thematic reskin because technically, like the pre-site is supposed to be me seeing the future, but I just like the reskinning it as I just travel 2 seconds into the past,
Yep.
Mhm.
just to take it again. Dudo is
Yeah,
just
roll
a
their
Dark
initiative
Soul
real quick.
character.
Well, he's a +8, and he rolled a 10.
This is why I built an initiative character.
So at
Okay,
least 3 of his pirates, and Fancy Pants there may or may not be Demois.
But
I
yeah,
look
as
at this
you
guy. He's
Pretty
pretty
sure
clearly
he
Chelish,
is.
right?
as you get to the top of the deck, you see thick coils of rope, block and tackle, cleats, and other assorted objects along the hatches and slightly raised cabins effectively make this deck into a makeshift obstacle course for most. I'm not going to have I didn't have time to make a bunch of debris to go on this boat, but so I'm not going to like impose any difficult terrain or anything. But it is a mess. Rather than what you see, it is just littered with garbage. Like the people who own this boat do not take care of it at all. Excuse me. as you're all witness to the sight, you see the man in the middle who is very aristocratic in his presentation. He has a fancy cutlass that he kind of pulls out and he points at you all. He's like, "Men, dispatch of them for me, please." Which will bring us to Hazen. Is now you need to try to climb up again. As you are hearing this.
I mean, technically no, but would you like to sit in the boat the entire time?
I mean, he can if he wants.
Hang out for a round or 2, but yeah, let's try and climb
Sounds
up.
of fighting on the ship's deck.
Oh shit!
Nobody knows the trouble.
It's not Hazen's day.
So you fail it by 5 or more. So you're in the water. So next round is going to be swim checks.
Y'all, what's crazy is I have the same climb as the 2 fighters who went up.
Yep.
I got a +4.
Zudor.
So he has a cutlass in his hands. You said, right?
He does.
Is it possible to do a roll to see if I can tell it's magical, or is it just like is it just like glowing or anything like
roll
that?
Arcana.
Okay. Arcana 21.
It does not appear magical. It just seems fancy.
Goody.
It seems it was more like a show weapon that he just kind of repurposed to an actual weapon.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So I reach into one of my coat pockets and I go, nope, not there. Other one. Man, why do I keep moving this? Here it is. And I pull out a small stick that's like a little twig. And I just hold it up in one hand and I just snap it with one finger as I cast break, and it gives his cutlass the broken condition.
Does he have to do a save or anything?
Only magical weapons get a saving throw against it. Non-magical items instantly break. That's the rules about how saving
was this a
throw.
scroll or something, or is this your magic spell?
It's an actual spell I cast. So even if it was a magic weapon, it would be DC 16 because I have spell focus transmutation.
I thought usually the wielder would get the save if.
No, it's an object saving throw. If you go to objects and hardness in the skills, it says on non-magical objects instantly fail saving throws. Magical weapons would add their magic bonus as a saving throw. It's surprisingly
very strong.
It is very strong. I can just annihilate someone's weapon.
According to the rules, a held item uses the creature's fortitude save.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
Okay. I didn't.
That's what I was saying.
Oh, I was thinking of unattended like walls and stuff. I got excited, but still, I'm still going to do the same thing.
It's still a cool spell to use.
Yeah, I remember looking at those rules because
Rolled
11. It is broken.
So
I remember looking
imagine
at those rules because of intelligent items, which are like the one exception to using the wielder's saves.
Right. I'm sorry. I was thinking of walls and shit. I
No,
hadn't
you're
read
fine.
this in a
Hey,
while.
it still works, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I just imagined the front half of his cutlass just goes clink and just falls to the deck. As
Yeah,
I
you
raise
see,
this
like,
thing.
see him point it towards you all, and as he's pointing to you, like, you see, like, yeah, like you said, the tip just clinks off, and you see, like, there's like hairline crumbling happening on the around the edge, and he's like,
Mhm.
"What the fuck happened here?" Like,
I
he
do
didn't.
believe your time has come, good sir.
Yeah, he sees you having cast the spell. Is like, man.
From Zudor's perspective, I imagine time just freezes. He casually walks over, breaks the cutlass over his knee, puts it back
It's
in
like-
his hand.
It's like a montage of me using my 8 strength to try to sunder a weapon, and I'm just working at it with a knife. Damn it! Why isn't it going? Okay, there it is. Gotta run back. I want to look cool.
That'll be against Zudor, which will miss you.
Yeah.
And that will be his turn as he backed up to get some distance. Also, I thought they were going to go last, but apparently we had some bad initiative
Mhm.
rolls today.
Apparently, I need to break more of his weapons.
One will be able to get up to Alex, but the other ones, this one will double move to get to here.
Mm-hmm.
The one against Alex will get a single swing with his long sword.
Mm.
Quick confirm is a 16.
Won't confirm just yet. Actually, no, it will without my shield on.
Okay, so yeah, he comes running and he just, like, he's definitely the flashier of the 3 bandit pirates here, and he just does a spin and, like, you go to reach up to block with your shield, but you realize that it wasn't quite equipped right yet, and he manages to slash a deep gash across your arm.
Bad reflexes.
Miro.
Seeing him, I will shout, "Demore! Prepare to pay for your crimes!" And then charge this guy.
No thanks, I'm on a budget.
And I will power attack,
charging?
obviously. I'm basically always power attacking because there's no detriment to me doing it.
I'm just
when
asking, are you actually charging for the +2 to hit?
Yes, I will add
Got it.
that, and I'll have 13 AC next turn. All right. 25
That'll
for
hit.
12.
He's still up, but yeah, that hit him hard. He like that's not a grunt. Is the bastard sword almost like it actually goes into his stomach, but it doesn't manage to hit any vital organs. But when he pulls clean, he is very much bleeding. He's just like that's not a grunt. Is like Alex's turn is the one you're fighting kind of turns back to see like, oh shit, I'm glad I chose this guy.
Hey, Michael, are you adding 3 for power attack two-handed?
Yeah, it should be a little higher if you're doing it two-handed.
Is it? Oh, yeah, it would be.
Yeah, if you're two-handed, you get a 1.
I was just used to always it being 2.
No, I hear you.
Yeah, when
So
you're doing a two-handed weapon, you do get that extra damage on it.
So it would actually be 1
13.
higher. So 13
Yeah.
slashing.
So, I mean, he's still up, but just a little bit closer to death there.
Mm-hmm. Now 5 foot hop back, get my shield out and on because that's a move action. Got a couple cure light wounds, but I think it's well, what is it to do that? And
I let you drink it as
Down
a
a
move action, so you've only did a 5 foot step and put your shield on, so
yeah, well, shield's a move action, but it's also you can use a standard as a move.
yeah. But I let it be instead of just having only a standard action. I'm not gonna. You can pull and drink it as a move or standard. So
Yeah, not the worst, but
Richard, when I set my AC to 13, did you set it back to 14?
no, it says 13 for me.
Yeah, it just reset it for some reason, which is weird because it's not linked to my AC.
Oh yeah. Let me see. It says it is, but the AC is kind of funky on these tokens sometimes.
No,
Yeah.
at least it's not. Doesn't let me select that.
Next time we play, I'm going to redo everyone's tokens because I noticed when I was editing things got a little fucky. So it might just have been something on my end, but I'll fix it for next time and see if it helps.
All right.
Okay, so Hazen, go ahead and roll me that swim check.
Go
Let's
Hazen.
swim.
Go Hazen. Yes!
No.
He rises
Just
out of the
won't
water
drown
and
at this
lands on the
point.
deck of the ship.
No, yeah, you're able to swim, and without a natural 20, go ahead and make a climb check too, as you just like dolphin kick out of this water to try to grab at this.
His pure anger after not being able to swim 3 times or climb twice. Ah! He
Hazen's
falls-
gonna have to
is
take a
you
level
don't
in
fail by 5 or
barbarian
more.
for this rage.
You fail by 5 or more, so you're like hanging on to the line, but you can't make any progress.
Well, the boat's at least not moving since the anchor's down, so I'm not being drugged behind the boat.
Oh yeah. Zudor, it is your turn.
On the bright side, you're not being keyhole.
So I cast grease on Hazen.
No, don't waste your spell. I'm not getting
I'm
up.
joking. I don't have that spell prepared.
Poor Cope.
This is hilarious.
Man, if you had gotten a natural 1, you would have started drowning without.
Didn't this
swim check.
happen to you, Richard, in the space campaign?
The funniest part is, yeah, you're
Probably.
not bad at it. You have a +4, which is the same as,
Yeah.
you know.
Let me zoom out.
Oh.
Measurements. Okay, so I could try to do that. Sorry, you guys know wizards.
Hey, how do you think I felt? I played at level 21.
I could just break his heavy crossbow as well.
Do it.
All right.
Do you have 2 versions of break memorized?
I
Does that have-
I have a version prepared that I cast, and then I have a scroll of break. The scroll of break is technically I can't use my
the DC is lower for sure.
the
Yeah,
DC is
that's it.
lower. But,
You can still use it as a weapon. It's just a -2 to attack and damage.
Yeah.
with the
oh
break
yeah, that's a
prediction.
good point. Yeah,
Although if you do use it twice on a thing, it's destroyed.
yeah, but he's using the heavy crossbow right now, not the cutlass. So instead, what I will do is at the start of my turn, I'm going to use. How many of these do I have left?
I think you used 4.
I got 3 left. So 15. That's locked in. That's good. I am going to fire a crossbow bolt at. Let's see. Actually, no. Here's what I'll do: is I will use a ray of frost against this one in front of Miro to hopefully kill him and free up that. And because it's a touch attack, that should hopefully be mitigated.
I was gonna say you can just roll 5d20 again and see what you get because we know it's a +3. Oh, you already have an active set up, huh?
Yep, 15.
That will
total.
hit.
All right, so then
Kill,
it's just
kill,
a
kill.
D3.
Could very possibly kill him.
3.
Yep, he is dead.
Woo!
And the ray of frost hits him in the head and he falls overboard.
Leaving me to a perfect sight of my target.
Yeah, he's not even gonna bother reloading his crossbow as he sees you like eyeing him. He just kind of drops it and re-pulls out his cutlass. And let's see, what does he do? He has items. Let's see what he'll use. Yeah. He pops a vial in his mouth and he disappears.
Yeah, that ain't good.
And then it is his men's turn. The one thinks he's good to go. Keep going with Alex. This one's going to move through to get a Zudor. So first one against Alex will miss. Against Zudor will miss. This time, Alex's shield is the right reflex to use as he just blocks it easily. Mira,
Perception to see if I can spot him.
go for it.
Come on, baby. Perception.
Maybe he'll trip over something.
Yeah, he so when I have them go invisible like this and I don't have them roll stealth, I just treat it as the 20 to notice them. So you do notice him because he has no bonuses to stealth.
All right, where is he?
He is over here. He looks like he's heading downstairs. He looks like he's trying to go into the bow of the ship.
This is the 5 foot space he's in.
Yes.
All right. He does still have concealment, so it's still a 50-50 to hit him, right?
Yes.
Damn it. All right, I will head.
Yeah.
Right
With that
here.
perception, it's not so much that you see him in particular, it's that you see like with the debris on the boat and stuff, you see it being moved around, you see where he's moved, so that's why it's still 50-50 mischance, because he's still invisible. But you know the general area he's at, so.
Power attack. Take off that temporary attack bonus and reset my AC to 14. Okay. And I will hit him, and hopefully I can goad him into taking an action, which will undo his invisibility.
Mm-hmm.
And I will swing at him with my bastard sword. So first things first, I'll roll a 1d2. We're saying on a 1 it hits him?
No, roll 1d100.
1d100?
When I do percentage chances, I just like to use the d100 because
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, so we're doing
So
above
you're looking
50?
you're looking for a 51 or up.
51 or up. Come on. It misses.
Yeah. So yeah, you swing at him and it just goes wide. You definitely hear a curse as you swing, so you know he's there.
You can only hide for so long, Damore.
Alex.
Yeah. Well, seeing as he's getting away, but our pseudo-barbarian has his scent, I guess I'll try and cut it at this dude here, to the right.
Oh, dang. Not going to help a wizard out. I hear it.
Yeah, I missed anyway.
Yeah, it goes wide.
Would have been max
Are you
damage, too.
Are you moving there anywhere, or are you staying put?
No, I'll stay put. If I'm at 5 foot step up, I'd be flanked, and if I try to move, I get a AOO, so nah.
Gotcha.
Let's see if Hazen can make it onto the boat before the battle ends.
I accidentally skipped this turn. Hazen, roll that climb check.
Can I jump on top of the rope and climb up it?
It'll still be a climb check, but yes.
And then that, what you were doing?
Yeah.
Hey.
That is enough to get up the line.
Got it with a DC 10.
It was.
Mhm.
I never rolled above a 4.
So
On
the
any
good news
of
is
my
that is
swim
only your
climb.
movement to do that. So you do have an action to take.
I'm here, ladies.
Damore's invisible.
Who the hell is Damore? And he stabs this person in front of him while talking.
Stabs at him
Good
anyway.
God.
Yeah.
I've given him my curse for the session.
Mm-hmm.
You really have.
It's the curse of the pharaohs. This is the curse of the Assyrian people.
So shall
Okay.
it be.
Zudor.
All right. So first things first, using another one of these because this feels final battle-y. Well, that's not going to get a lot of use.
Too bad you can't give it to the enemy.
I know, right? Maybe it's like a higher level thing. I haven't looked into all the abilities,
Yeah.
but
I know you can do that in 5e with a divination wizard.
yeah.
That one's fun.
Remind me how. So I know casting a spell provokes an attack of opportunity unless you cast defensively, correct?
And if you cast defensively, if you don't pass the DC, it fails.
Yes. Okay.
The
That's
DC
what.
is 15 plus twice spell level.
Yes.
15 and you roll. Oh wait, hold on. There's
caster level
there's
plus-
just a button for caster level check here. Yeah,
Yeah.
concentration.
Well, caster level, yeah, concentration is that plus your spellcasting modifier.
Right. So caster level plus ability. Okay, so that is this concentration button here. It says 6. All right. Well, first things first. Can I do a perception to see I know where what Jimmy is?
Yeah, go for it. Roll perception.
What do my elf eyes see?
Yeah, you see him as well. He is over by Miro, right in the spot he was before.
You see him knock over a bucket.
Like you
Okay.
see his general area. You don't see him because he is invisible. But
Right.
you see the movements that are happening because he's in that space.
Thankfully,
It's
to target
gotta
him,
be a
you
little
just
bit easier to see him, right? Because Miro's swinging up the
Yeah,
direction.
there's some movement there, but it's not like he's still not like visible, is what I'm saying. So
Mhm.
so I
that's
am
why I
going.
stole the missed chances and stuff.
I'm going to cast Magic Missile defensively. I just need to know what square he is in, and then the missile will hit him unerringly.
This is true.
So I will cast defensively. So I will just push the little button that says concentration here because that should be the right modifier.
So you're looking for 17. You do have one hero point if you wish to use it. Add a +4.
Yeah, I'll just do that. I had something else I could do to salvage the lost spell slot, but I'll get the +4 for now.
So go ahead and roll a d4 +1. Or +2, I can't remember. No, it's d1. It's
+1.
+1.
Yeah,
It gets
Of
better as you
course.
level.
of course.
But it does hit him.
Yeah, I scoreboard.
Mhm.
Scoreboard.
Yeah,
Okay.
if I had failed that concentration check, I could have used one of my temporal points to just re-prepare the spell as if I didn't cast it.
Zudor won.
I mean, I destroyed his. I damaged his cutlass and then hit him with a magic missile. I am the bane of this man's existence.
Zudor to Hazen -17.
He's going to make an attack against you, Miro. That'll be 17 because the broken status of his weapon.
That will hit.
Also,
And
only 3 damage.
Yeah, it reduces the damage, I think, as well.
Mhm.
All right. Okay.
So, yes, -2 as well. So 3 points of damage.
Yeah.
So that is all he can do. Okay, these two. One is going to go on Hazen. The other one is going to go on Zudor. So start with Hazen, since love to pick on him.
Yep.
It is not his day.
It really is not.
Is that better?
And then against Zudor. Nope.
That'll ping off my shield.
I'm saving the good hit for Hazen.
I just love the idea that he finally scrambles up. What's going on? Swings, misses, just gets immediately like pommel struck in the gut. And he's like, "Oh, my nethers."
Miro,
Should've-
your
should've
target
stayed
is
up the road.
exposed.
Indeed. I am going to enter my blood rage.
As you do.
And he will say, "You've dragged your family's name through the mire one too many times." And I will activate my Hell Strike, so my sword lights ablaze. Blood Rage. Plus Hell Strike. So add the fire damage. All right. And so this is the attack I am making against him.
That hits.
Mhm.
Sizable damage. Let's see.
Does it kill?
That's the question.
Remember, he's 2 hit points lower.
Yep, he is up. He is wounded heavily. You see, like where he managed to block some of the blow from being a fatal wound, but you see, like, arm is now caked in blood. His face is kind of obscured from, because you slashed across his whole body when you did this. Like, you see his hair is like charred, but he is still standing, but barely.
All right.
Going next is Alex.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I will. Oh. Not worth it. I'll keep swinging on this dude over here.
That'll hit, and that'll be the one on the right, you said?
Yep.
He's getting pretty hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Hazen.
Question: if you
Mhm.
acrobatics past somebody,
Mm-hmm.
you can just keep on moving, right?
Yes.
Yes, but
Uh,
actually acrobaticsing through someone's square is much harder than trying to go around them.
Yeah.
Half
Yeah.
speed.
If he
I
can he
believe.
do that? And try
Yeah. Just go ahead and roll me an acrobatics, though. You're gonna have to do it.
He's gonna blood rage, and he's acrobaticsing. He's gonna hop up on the ledge and run past this guy and go Demure and run over.
Okay, if you're hopping on the ledge, I will say if you fail. Okay, I'm gonna say if you fail the acrobatics, I'm gonna have him. Try
I
to push
wanted
back
you
in the
to
water.
fail that so badly.
Why is this boat
This
slippery?
Look, if you're playing poker and you're at the table and every hand you bet into you lose, eventually at the end of the game you just go, I'm all in.
That
Yep.
definitely hasn't hurt anyone ever.
And this is Hazen's moment. He
Yeah,
is
you're able to
he
get
is going all in and he is leaping down on this guy with his rapier.
Make that attack.
You're probably flanking considering Miro.
Yeah, you are flanking, so you will have sneak attack as well.
Golden lining. Son of a bitch.
You do have one hero point.
Can I hero point it? Yeah.
So re-roll or add 4.
He rolled
I
a
don't
4.
think adding 4 will do it, will it?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Yeah, you don't get to know.
Don't get to know. I'm gonna reroll.
I was gonna say statistically, you could get worse.
This is what you get for
I
trying to
did.
kill
I
Steel
went
Knight,
from
dude.
a 4 to a 3. Since he's jumping down on this guy, can I do an acrobatics to see if he falls prone?
No, you've been through enough.
Do it. Let him see if he biffs it.
Go for it.
Please, I want to land on the floor.
Go in acrobatics. No, you're fine.
No.
You land here.
All right.
It's kind of disappointing.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I skipped Zudor.
Seems I'm not the only one who wants his head.
All right. Last time. Damn it. Well, oh well. Either way, I'm going to pull out my dagger and say, I'll warn you, good sir, I'm not very good with this thing. 14?
Man, I was hoping you got a nat roll 20. That does hit though.
two slashing damage.
On
I'm a
guard.
danger to myself and others.
And then I cut him successfully.
He's
Oh,
gonna go
shit,
for
I'm
Hazen.
so
to try to
sorry.
make he needs to make an escape plan, so he's gonna go for Hazen.
So Hazen, this happened
You're at
last
-7.
time too. Oh my god!
It's 2 lower, and it only does 7 damage.
Oh yeah, that is true. So -8 damage,
All right.
Because
and
it's a
he's gonna
damage
provoke an
cost.
attack again from Miro because he's gonna try to jump off the edge of the water, the ship.
Oh my god, none of
Power
us have
attack in my
heal
last
or-
hell strike for the game. I'm gonna try and run him through this wall.
Oh my god, I just realized none of us have heal skill or healing ability.
I was trying to tell you guys
Cure
earlier.
light wounds potions. I've used
Looks
one of
like
them.
I'm getting that coin, fellas.
Hazen went out like a blaze of glory, man.
Just in time.
He could stabilize.
Make that attack, Miro.
Yep.
That hits. Describe
And
how
I
you
run him
God.
through the wall.
Yeah, you just poke forward with this, and it just runs him clean. And like the wood on a boat is treated for fire, but you manage to leave a nice scorch mark as you pull free, and it just kind of coats the wall with his blood as he sinks down onto the
I was
ground.
gonna say hell flame also doesn't spread like regular flame.
Oh yeah, I know, but that's why I'm saying it's so powerful. It just like leaves a scorch mark from where it went through the wood. But he is dead. Hazen may possibly be dead as well, but in the meantime, no, these two are gonna jump. They're like, no, fuck this. Full withdraw, jump. They're out of
Hello?
no full withdraw.
I'm gonna let mine go.
I
'Cause
mean,
I'm
I didn't have a
charging.
choice because they full withdraw, but yeah.
So yeah, they are going to just
All
swim
right.
away. So
I
They'll turn around
dropped
and
my
roast.
blood rage and search Hazen's pocket for a weird coin.
How would y'all know he has that?
Because you tried to fucking
You metagame.
you hide shit. You hide shit. You did it last time, so now I suspect it of you all the time.
In my defense, Cope, I was just gonna loot your body anyway. Just
yeah, you do find
Touche.
an apple-sized coin.
I feel like this is very in character considering last
Well,
time.
while he's doing that, I'm gonna jump over the railing and search the captain's body, taking a quick second to toss a heal potion to Miro.
I walk down the stairs like a calm person.
I throw the coin to you.
Oh, bully! There it is.
Just as I suspect.
So you
I'm
actually do
going-
find some stuff on these people, by the way.
Mhm.
On the guy himself, you have a drinking oil of invisibility.
Mhm.
Sorry, potion of invisibility. Either way.
So I had two of them.
No, this one's the drank one. But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
since you found the remnants of it, it's going to be added to your list of stuff you can buy.
Hmm.
You also find 2 vials of Cure Light Wounds.
Mm.
Don't
You
waste
see
them.
another signet ring that's tarnished, and you also see a tarnished bronze key.
Yeah, I'm grab at that signet ring, and then once I've got it, hold up the key for them.
Ah, that would probably be for whatever chest is in the hold that probably has the tablets.
Yeah, good guess. Guess we'll find
While
out.
they're looking around for the tablets or whatever, I'm going to look for the heaviest thing that I think I can lift on the ship.
Yeah, there's just some leftover fucking hard like raw iron like scraps that they kind of just have it's like it looks like it's melted into a ball like it used to be a cannonball, but it's all jagged and gnarly.
Mm-hmm. Is there anywhere I could like tie a rope or something in this thing, or it's
Like on the
rounded
ship
shape?
itself. Oh, like on the thing. You could probably
Yeah.
tie a rope on it. It's like jagged and weird shaped, but you could tie something to it.
Cool. I'm going to tie one end of the rope onto the ball, one end of the rope onto this guy's ankle, and throw him overboard.
Are we going to do anything about our fellow Pathfinder bleeding out on the deck here?
I threw Miro a healing potion, so apparently not.
He says
out of-
Roll a
out of
Constitution
character.
save, Hazen.
I mean, out of character, does Cope just not want to play him?
I will never play this character again in this.
I mean, I guess we could just say he's instantly dead.
Yeah, don't waste the Cure Light Wounds potion.
I was gonna say also, Cope said not to use it.
Yeah, don't save him because I'm gonna roll
Like, are
somebody.
we gonna do anything about our friend over here? You look
Oh,
over him,
he's dead.
and he's just like, "Oh, he's dead."
Not
Pull out
fond
a
of those
pocket
who
watch
hide
you
their
didn't know I had?
treasures.
That's earlier than I expected. Also, I might need to shift to chaotic neutral with how I'm playing his personality.
Hazen calls. Is it 15 years?
Damn it.
But yeah, you're looking through. You find the key. You find the Cure Light Wounds potions, the used oil potion of invisibility, and that's all you find on his person.
Oh,
I assume you're going to search the boat.
as
I'm correct in assuming his body floats to the bottom, or sinks to the bottom.
I was gonna say that'd be impressive.
So yeah, you begin to kind of like search through the not like the lowest deck of the ship. You look through this like top area here, and this is like because this part right here is higher than the bottom of the boat. This is
Yeah,
like
it's
where the
the
captain's quarters is back here and
Yeah.
stuff. And inside the quarters, you do see a chest. Opening it up with the key, there is 1,600 gold pieces in there.
Mm.
This is I already have it calculated in the stuff that you're going to get at the end of the session. So
Yeah, figured.
But you do not see the stone tablets in this room, and on this floor at least, you don't seem to see anything. So the only place left is to check the below decks to the bottom of the boat.
Mhm. Well,
Yeah,
be
guess we're
on,
gonna have
be
to
on
check
guard
below.
just in case they have traps. I'm going to do a perception just in case. I have literally not had a perception under 20 this entire time.
So basically, the room you're going to be entering from is this one right here, right? Wrong way. Where Miro is. This is like the pathway in. So you guys can arrange yourselves however you're going in first or not.
Guess I'll chug another Cure Light Wounds, since we found 2, and apparently I still have 2.
As we're searching around the ship, are there lamps on the ship
Yes, there is.
that kind of light the inside?
You know what? Just in case, I am going to drink my potion of shield before we go into this room because my bag of tricks is running low, so I want to be extra safe.
Also, you're in the front, so that's the new thing
Can you
for
hear
Zero.
me?
Oh, that's the...
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the stairs going down right here. Like they go down and then it goes like this.
I think we all meant for me to be in front.
Yeah.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you
Something
heard.
about lamps last I heard.
Yeah,
Which
you
I
have
assume
about
you have the
lamps.
same plan I do to burn the place at the end.
Oh yeah, gonna burn this gonna take all the lamp oil on this ship, spread it as evenly as I can, take a torch and toss it before we go. I'm also gonna be looking for any documents that mention Mr. Demore here that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So you can tell me if I find anything like that, or even anything with just his name on it. I'm gonna make sure to
You
destroy.
do find occasional things that have his name on it. Some parchment. You see some embroidered underwear. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Destroy that all.
I'll talk to
but yeah.
The torch.
As you go below deck, the below decks are dimly lit. The dimly lit hold has taken on a foot of brackish bilge water. And clammy air laps against your skin, the sole light emanating from a small whale oil lamp mounted on the lower mast in the center of this room.
Mm-hmm.
The cavernous hollow contains dozens of water-damaged crates, ropes, and in neat stacks, secured tightly to the side walls. The remaining portion of the hold is set up like a common room with hammocks and open larder and a small kitchen where food is prepared. The accommodations appear radically stripped down, presumably to make room for the contraband or increase speed. Towards the bow, loud banging echoes from a shattered wooden door, sodden and previously swelled shut, held what looked like held fast with what was previously thick black chains. The reason why I said formerly is you see what looks like corpses that have been bloated on the other side of the wall or the door, which is like right around here. And you see limping out some undead looking creatures, kind of like sag, like bloated, like their skin is like cracked and broken apart from the decay of the water damage to them, as there are undead on this boat. So let me reveal them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, it went deeper than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
As anyone who wants to roll a knowledge religion, I can tell you what these are.
Yeah,
Let's see if I can.
I am supposed to be the smart guy. 16?
They are a variant of ghoul known as a Lacedon. They're basically waterlogged ghouls.
Nice.
Even better.
Can you roll a knowledge that you don't have a point in? I don't think you can.
You have to have at least a point in or a class skill as.
Okay.
It is my class skill. I just don't have a point in that.
Yeah, either or. So let's roll some initiative. You're down a party member, but you do imagine, like, actually roll more perception checks after you roll your initiative.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Nope.
Okay, we're all over, so I don't have to spend a point to boost anyone's. We all act first. My lowest perception I've gotten all day.
Perception.
So Miro is the only one that kind of notices that the room they come out of looks like it is a storage room that they were using to house probably what these people were. So you imagine if there's anywhere left to check, it would be back there for the tablets. But as that remains, Miro is up first as you see these ghouls just kind of lingering towards you.
All
Right,
right.
Miro, on my 6. As you charge past me, I imagine.
Yeah, I can't charge through you because I don't have dragon style.
Bet you can't shove through.
Yeah, you can walk through fine. You don't have to charge, but
Yeah, but you just can't charge through allies unless you have that feat.
yeah.
Or I think there's a number of feats that can let you do that. But
And a least
That's why I was like,
archetype.
when we were talking last time, and I was asking about the Unchained Monk, because I wanted to do that charging style thing, but I would definitely need Dragon style for that in a city.
walking over there and hitting this one with a power attack. No longer blood raging. But we spent enough time walking around that I think it's been enough rounds that I'm not fatigued.
You're not fatigued anymore.
All right, here we go.
That will hit. Are you fire damaging?
Oh, no. Don't count that. Let me turn that off.
Hey,
So just the 13 slashing.
You managed to cleave off one of its like most of one of its arms, so it's almost like it's like hanging there limply. You cleave like halfway down its chest, but it's still going. But it definitely looks like you've done a significant portion to it. Alex.
All right, you can lead for this little 2-step. Run up and swing on it. Woo!
Yeah, you just upswing, and from groin to skull, you just split the thing in half. With the waterlogged damage it has, it's easy to cleave this thing. Splits open like a Christmas ham.
Had to score at least one this mission. I don't think, no, except for detaining the one guy. I haven't killed anything. So.
Some bad luck is all.
I'm going to use my light crossbow and hit the one in the back.
Gotcha.
Because I am all out of magics. I mean, I have a scroll of break, but that's not going to do any good. 15?
15 will hit for 8 points of damage.
Maximum damage.
I guess that's a pretty good crossbow shot.
Who killed the other fishman?
Oh, yeah, no, I did plink him with minimum damage.
Yeah, even I got a kill with a ray of frost of all things.
Meanwhile, Cope's like, rub it in.
I can't hear you under the water.
I can't hear you under the sound of me drowning in my own blood.
Oh, please, you're still on deck. We're going to give you a lovely Viking funeral here in a minute. If we live.
Find your
Actually,
body.
I'd like to say he wasn't dead, but he accidentally got kind of caught on the rope thing, cannonball tying that Miro had made. And after he tosses the cannonball over and the guy goes over, Hazen just wasn't seen again.
Not for another 15 years.
So what? The one next to Alex is going to do a full attack, a bite, and 2 claws.
Mm-hmm.
So bite.
Does it have pounce or something?
It has a full attack. Not the one against
He's
you, the one
attacking
against
me.
Alex.
Oh, the one attacking Alex.
The one
sorry,
against you is going to be afterwards. No,
okay,
this
that one. Sorry. I saw that
No,
one
don't
and
worry.
I panicked.
So I will need a couple fortitude checks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're ghoul fevered,
Damn, that's unfortunate.
but you're not paralyzed.
I still got the 1 hero point.
You want to use it to re-roll that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Woo!
Okay, you managed to resist the ghoul fever.
At least this round. Yeah.
Well, for the
But
bite,
he does
see what his
have
claws.
the other 2.
Well, the claws are just oof. Doesn't
I mean-
confirm, but you take another 2 points of damage, and I need another fortitude. Still good. One more attack. Oh, that one misses.
Alright, so that is a grand total of 9 damage.
Yep.
Good thing I drank that potion.
Mhm.
And the last one's just going to take a bite at Zudar.
Hard miss.
There are my natural ones.
Yeah.
That's 1 AC right now. I'm actually pretty tanky for this level.
Also, can I point out, if Zudar does get bit, he's the only one that is immune to the paralysis.
Yep.
Mhm.
He's a full-blooded elf.
Full-blooded elf. People also realized after I bought his equipment that elves are proficient in like a bunch of actually fairly decent weapons, and I just didn't buy any of them.
You can always do it next time.
Oh
That's what I'm
yeah,
gonna
they
do.
get long swords and stuff.
Long
Hero's
swords,
gonna
long
5-foot step
bows,
here.
Elven curve blade.
quite a few exotic weapons that are actually not bad. I mean, not
And-
worth an exotic weapon feat, but
Oh yeah, like the elven
Just
double.
destroy this one.
curve blade. It's like a two-handed scimitar.
Take us home, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, the only one that's been untouched.
Yeah, let us try and. Ooh, 12 probably won't cut it.
12 will not, unfortunately.
Yeah, well.
Zudor.
All right, let's see if the wizard can end it with a crossbow bolt. He will not.
Yeah, that will not hit. So he gets another full attack against Alex.
Oh no.
Mhm.
So first is a bite.
Mm.
I need
22
a
will
couple
do.
fortitude saves.
So no disease.
Disease, but you are paralyzed. So then it is going to just take 2 claw attacks against your 5-footed AC.
Those will both hit, I think, because
So a total of
I don't think
12
that
points of damage.
yeah.
So Alex begins dying. Zero. This all of a sudden went from bad to worse with this mission.
I got one more round of Blood Rage, so I'm activating that. And
Luckily, Alex has a bunch of cure light wounds.
Yeah,
I
at
did
least
use
one of which I threw to Miro.
all 3 Hell Strikes,
I'll use,
so I can't do one of those. Okay.
It's like
That'll
minutes
hit,
of
and that
paralysis,
will
too.
just be just enough to finish this thing off.
So are y'all gonna immediately loot Alex and leave him for dead?
I give Alex that Cure Light Wounds potion he gave me.
That's probably what I was gonna do too.
You just bend down, lightly place it in my paralyzed hand.
This is what happens when you steal stuff and don't tell the party.
A good 24 seconds later, Alex comes to after the potion takes effect because he was paralyzed.
To be fair, I have my other reasons for wanting them both to be alive.
Meat shields.
Yay.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
because,
that too. That's another good reason.
yeah, because if we weren't, you'd be dead right now.
I mean, 20 AC is pretty good, but yeah, no, I'd be dead.
But yeah,
Welcome back.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
kinda-
it got me good, didn't it?
You all right? We need to take you to see a doc.
Yeah, I can walk at least.
All right, let's go look for those tablets and burn this thing to the ground.
looking through the remains of this storage facility or area rather, there is still a lot of bodies that were there, but they didn't seem to have animated into undead. Seems to be he had participated in some kind of slave trade, and when the ship took on some water, he just didn't bother taking care of any of the cargo, which included the people down here. Mm-hmm. So about a dozen people that were all kind of crammed in this space, all kind of just drowned. Though in the back you see a small padlocked chest with the key. You open it up. Inside, in some moldering velvet, rest 4 tablets, each one made in a different material. One in copper, one in gold, one in lead, and one in black slate.
I suppose we should borrow some of their rope to lower them down to the boats.
The dinghies. Good news is you made room for these tablets because you don't have to bring another 4th person back.
Indeed, my rope
sorry,
is
go.
occupied.
I mean, you say that like it's something we intended, Richard. If he had nailed that last attack roll, he would be alive.
At least until the ghouls
It
go.
was a glorious arc for him.
The only thing that would have been better is if he had rolled a natural 1 on that swim check and started drowning.
Look,
So everyone's fighting.
No, I think the way he went out was good. It would have been, like Gamba said, it would have been better if he had gotten slammed down on the ground and after he had missed the attack. But For his people, the best thing is to be remembered in death.
But yeah, to kind of round up the scenario, you managed to return these tablets.
Just to be clear, we are successfully able to like burn down the ship, right?
Yeah, no problem. But you're able to return the tablets, and you receive your reward. You also receive the blessings of both the Chelish and Andoran embassies in the city that when you return, for keeping them from entering what was sure to be a bloody war. Still at odds, of course, but it did keep it from going into a just outright battle. Let's see, double checking some stuff about faction missions. Make sure people.
I mean, I assume I meet with the Baron.
So let's see. I'm just going through the list of things.
Yeah.
For Cheliax, they do the proxy of the Paracountess. Greets you and tells you of a job well done when you inform them of the disposal of the corpse. Osirian's embassy is like, so where's my good friend Hazen? You all kind of shift awkwardly, like, oh. And from there we go to the next one.
The camera just pans over to Gimli, and he's like, "You fell." I don't know why I found that delivery funny.
The Andoran faction.
That was good. I liked it.
The recovery of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Happy to put a bitter end to this. A happier, final note to this bitter kind of situation. And Taldor, you are able to obtain the Harbor Master Pass off of your dead friend's corpse.
Oh, is that what the coin was?
Yeah.
It was as if they knew when I found it.
To be fair, I would have looted your body anyway.
But yeah, you were able to all complete your faction missions. Which will give you
in the box of shame.
Yeah.
No. We need to create a new box. This is what I did in the Fae campaign. I call it the dead pile. And every time a player character dies, I put an X through their token, and then I throw it into that box. And it's been slowly piling up. It's got 2 PCs and someone's eye in there. And
yeah, I'm just gonna say, Cope. There's no way you got out of that without getting looted. Okay, even if it wasn't for the coin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ring of Death. Just the ever-expanding corpse consumer.
So I think everyone that survived completed their faction mission.
Yep.
Indeed. And you each receive a grand total of 900 gold pieces for the mission.
Aha!
That'll set me up with some. I can probably sell back my crossbow for like half price, I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that later, not right now.
Yeah, you don't have to do that right now. But make sure you update your money as well as on your front page. Everyone's experience goes up by 1, and everyone's prestige points go up by 2.
Okay, and I used a hero point, so set that. XP goes up by 1. Prestige goes up by 2.
Actually, I take that back. Everyone's prestige goes up by 3 because you also completed a secondary objective, which was to provide evidence of Dumor's defeat.
Mm-hmm.
Which the burning of the Hydra's Fang very much indicates that.
No. Much to the contrary. Did not provide evidence of Dumor's defeat. Did not provide evidence of Dumor. To fucking erase him.
He is no more.
You say that, but you also had the signet ring from him.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of counteracts the disappearance of him. But either way, you disposed of the body quite well.